A quarter of a century has passed since the exciting season of the 1993 Phillies. The reunion and celebration has brought smiles all around the ballpark. The annual visit by the Brewers has not played out so well. The first two games will not be cause for a reunion anytime in the future. And the smiles on the field have been very one-sided. The John Kruk batting practice jersey be given out to all the men 15 and older coming to the ballpark here today. It's a great celebration. There's Johnny with Wes Chamberlain, Tony Longmire signing some autographs, signing some jerseys. Larry Anderson obviously is here. Roger Mason is back for his second day as well. Larry Bowe, one of the coaches on that staff, also getting a chance to provide some smiles to the fans who are coming to the ballpark today for a little baseball between the Phils and the Brewers. It's Weekends with Schmidt, presented by Acme Markets. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy with Mike Schmidt. We haven't lost John. He's just still downstairs signing some autographs. He'll be in and out during the course of this day as the celebration continues for the 93 Philadelphia Phillies. The celebration is not continuing for the Phillies these last couple of days. You look at the numbers in the series against the Brewers, they've been outscored 24-7. They've been out-homered, more extra base hits for the Brewers, and the runners in scoring position numbers, Phillies just don't have many guys with runners in scoring position.
Oh, I don't like to look at those numbers, Tom. Yeah, this is a time, I've always said, for leadership. Somebody has to step up in the locker room and light a fire under these guys. I don't know whether it's Gabe Kapler or, Arrieta tried a few games ago. Leadership, but I'm going to tell you what it really comes down to. I'll give you a simple thought on this. It's about each player winning his battle today. It's about the pitcher beating the hitter, and it's about all of the hitters going to home plate and winning their battle against their pitcher. Now, winning the battle doesn't mean I got to be a hero today. Doesn't mean I got to strike everybody out, or when I go to home plate, man, I got to hit one 450 feet. Doing your job means moving runners, not striking out, getting batters to put it into play on the ground, just getting outs any way you can get them. If the guys all go out there and say, I'm going to be the guy that makes the difference, they'll continue this kind of a slump.
Well, speaking of making a difference, Zach Eflin made a difference in his last start against the Chicago Cubs. And I think you can lean on this as maybe a momentum swing, too, for the Phillies today.
You absolutely can. They had lost 3 on the road against the Giants. They had the Arrieta meeting. And Eflin was the guy up when they went to Chicago. Good team, Chicago, obviously. Tough place to win, Wrigley Field. Eflin gave him 7 2/3 that night in his last start. Eflin's a good pitcher to watch. He averages around 94 miles an hour with his fastball. That's how he gets ahead with his fastball. And, mixes in some change-ups and some breaking balls. But what I like about Eflin, Tommy, is he works fast.
Yes.
He works fast. He keeps the defense alert. They love to play behind him. He's a tough kid. I look for a good day from Eflin today. We score early. He shuts them down. We break the losing streak.
That is a great plan. I think we'd all take that here this afternoon at Citizens Bank Park. So it'll be Eflin. He'll be opposed by Brandon Woodruff, who is just back up from the minor leagues. He has made 8 appearances previously for Milwaukee. Well, as we mentioned, the celebration of the 93 team has been all weekend long. Curt Schilling was unbelievable that season in 1993 and in the postseason. That obviously brings back some great memories. Lineups at first pitch when we return. Celebration has not ended yet, but the ceremonies are in the books for the 1993 team. As we get set for some baseball, let's take a look at the Brewers lineup, brought to you by Xfinity, America's best internet provider according to speedtest.net. Now that's a cool uniform that Travis Shaw is wearing right there. His last 26 games, 283 with 7 home runs and 20 RBIs. He's batting cleanup for the Brewers. Lorenzo Cain is digging in. There's Zach Eflin's numbers, 2-2 with a 3.74 ERA. And we'll get to his scouting report in just a second. But the first pitch of the day is lined sharply. Backhanded stab on one hop by Crawford. One away. Wow. Well, he made that look really easy.
He was ready. J.P. Crawford. Nice play, J.P. First pitch of the game lined on one hop. I mean, a tough one hop. Crawford goes to his knees. Goes to strike. Well, it was a hard hit ball. Here it is again. Nice play, J.P. No panic. Realized he got all day to make a nice throw to first base.
Yeah, really good reactions.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we had one hard hit ball and one out, one pitch. Guess that's all good.
That's right. Well, here's Yelich. Yelich is 5 for 10 in the series so far with a double.
Yelich is the only player on the Brewers team to have faced Eflin before. I think he only has 2 at-bats against him, but the Brewers are in kind of a see the ball and hit it mode today. Of course, you know they got a lot of information down there, but there's no information like having seen him before. And there's ground ball to Hernandez.
Yeah, I think the thought is that Eflin throws strikes, so they're going to try to go after those strikes pretty early in the count.
We said in the opening, Eflin's going to get ahead of you with fastballs. Why not look for him?
Well, 2 outs, and here's Jesus Aguilar, who is 3 for 9 with 5 RBIs. Got all kinds of things going on in the batter's box.
Yeah, they all have those little things they do. Superstition when they get to home plate. You got to dig the hole, and batter's boxes nowadays are very nice compared to when we played, or when you go way back. They were awful. But plus you got to tap the umpire on the shin with the bat, and say hello to him. Occasionally you got to tap the catcher too.
He did all that.
And make sure they're in a good mood.
What do you mean the batter's boxes are better now? Are they bumpy?
Well, they're gummy. You don't get that one big hole in one spot.
Well, that's
where
true.
your back foot is. So they got like, man, is everybody standing here or what? You can find your own spot now.
1 ball and 1 strike to Aguilar. 297 with 11 home runs, and he whacks that one off his leg. He provides us with our giant home run replay. This was the opposite way.
Yeah, amazing. That's some serious strength right there. Yeah, it goes about 5-6 rows up, opposite field, fastball on the outside corner. Hitters, I mean, as a former hitter, I obviously, yeah, here's a foul ball off the old knee.
Oh.
That had to hurt.
That had to hurt.
But as a former hitter myself, I can appreciate that home run to the opposite field. I mean, I don't like to see it as a Philly fan. I like to see that.
Yep, a check swing. He went around. Andrew Knapp was not even waiting for the confirmation. And it's a 1-2-3 inning. Just 7 pitches for Eflin. We go to the bottom of the first. It's the Brewers nothing and the Phillies coming up. for the Phillies. Let's take a look at the Phillies lineup, brought to you by Xfinity, America's best internet provider, according to speedtest.net. It's pretty much the same lineup that we've seen the last couple of days. Cesar leading it off, 43 walks, leads all MLB second basemen. And Andrew Knapp does do the catching today. They face Brandon Woodruff, 2-0 with a 6.05 ERA so far in the big leagues. Good numbers in the minor leagues. And Mike, like Eflin, he's got a really good fastball.
Yeah, he averages around 94. Interesting guy. I always like to look at hits per innings pitched. Only giving up 22 hits and 30 innings pitched. Punched out 29 guys in 30 innings. And the Phillies will face Woodruff for the first time. Back two similar confrontations here. Only Yelich has an at bat against Eflin, and no Phillies have ever faced Woodruff, so it's a no information game.
Yeah, he's a fifth-round pick, former fifth-round pick by the Brewers. Was also drafted out of high school. 1 ball, 1 strike to Cesar.
Oh,
up high.
Hitters don't like seeing a guy for the first time, but I can tell you from the old days back in spring training when we went down to play somebody and they were throwing a young kid out of the minor leagues, we're on a panic. What the heck does he throw? You know?
Well, now there's, as you said, there's so much information, but there's nothing better than seeing a guy for the first time. As Cesar
won his battle.
Singles to left to get it started for the Phils here in the bottom of the first.
The way Cesar go the opposite field. Nice little at bat. There you go. You got the Aguilar conversation going already.
I think he would mash Cesar Hernandez. He'd put him in his palm of his
squash.
hand. Yeah.
He'd squash a lot of people.
Here's Reese. Reese homered yesterday. Also had another base hit. He was 2 for 4 in his return. Hitting .239 with 7 home runs, 31 runs batted in. Inside, 1 ball and no strikes.
You know, I think that you never want to get injured, obviously, but if you look at it on a positive vein, might be the best thing that could have happened to Reese. You know, 10, 12, I don't know how many days he had off, but it's like a long rest period. Forget what happened, you know, right prior to that, and sort of a refresher, reset, if you will.
Well, and he's been able to hit, so he's done that on his own, basically, with John Maley and Pedro Guerrero in the cage. So they can continue to work in trying to figure out what was wrong previously. Out of play, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Our Geico quote of the day: Reese on adjusting to the new helmet, completely normal. It was good. Just another normal day at the ballpark. Looked a little different, but that's about it.
What is that in reference to? His helmet, or
yeah,
how the day went, or
the
what?
flaps on the helmet? Just getting used to seeing through them. Would that bother you, Mike, though?
Absolutely not. I'd feel good about that.
Would you?
I wish they had that when I played.
And that ball gets away. Cesar, he might be able to get to third. He's going to get to third on this one. As long as the fan doesn't touch it, and he will get to third. And he's there standing.
Make the opposition make some mistakes today. Just keep that ball in that fair territory and let them have to make the plays. Yeah, not a good throw by the pitcher. Not a real strong effort by Aguilar. Man on third, nobody out.
That's perfect.
We get 1, they have to get 2. It's an old college coach's theory.
Win the inning.
Win the inning, but if you score 1, they have to score 2. If you score 3, they have to score 4. Stay 1 run ahead all the time.
I think it would just be refreshing for the Phillies as the rain starts to fall here in Philadelphia, just to get off to a good start. Sort of cleanse themselves a little bit. 2-1 pitch coming to Hoskins, and a bouncer left side that'll get the run home. It'll be an RBI for Reese, and the Phillies take a 1-0 lead.
Well, you know, you don't really, people wouldn't look at it as winning your battle, but man, when you get an RBI your first at bat, that's a good thing.
Absolutely.
Set your team up 1 run.
Well, and then individually, I would think it sets the tone for you the rest of the day. You've been productive.
Just think about the dark side of that thing. What if you strike out with that man on third and nobody out? Then you start carrying that pressure throughout the game.
Here's Odubel, who is 0 for 9 with 6 strikeouts in this series. It's been a struggle for Odubel.
Yes, it has. His energy level seems to have dropped off through that period. He's faced some tough left-handers, I know that, but when you think back to his hot streak, his hot period, it's like every at-bat was high intensity. You know, every at-bat, it didn't matter who was on the mound. He was throwing stuff to left field, hitting home runs to right field.
And he would win every battle. I mean, it would seem that way anyway.
He was all about winning the battle.
Two balls and no strikes to Herrera. Had a swing and a miss, 2-1.
Baseball basically is about 2 battles, right? I mean, sure, we got to catch the ball, we got to throw the runners out and all that, but this whole game centers around the pitcher and the pitcher and catcher versus a hitter.
We certainly talk about it more than how a guy is on the field. Two and two on the inside corner. I think the rain has arrived a little earlier than we anticipated. Problem was John wasn't here in the booth to smell it, to let us know that it was coming. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Herrera. And it's 3-2.
Well, maybe that'll get him going. Pretty close pitch right there.
Looks kind of clear downtown. Center City. And Odubel hits it out towards center, and Kane will put it away. Yeah, there are 2 outs. And here comes Carlos Santana.
Yeah, Odubel got a little lazy with his hands right there. Ball's on the inner half of the plate. Or maybe on the inside corner, and just didn't fire his hips quick enough. Didn't get his, get his hands inside the ball. Might have broke his bat. Well, he saw 6 pitches.
Now, can you see that when somebody's not?
Absolutely.
Okay. Because it sounded that way. That
yeah, he I don't know. He was kind of thinking the other way or something with 2 strikes. He actually got a free pitch there, because I thought the 2-2 pitch was a strike, but he's kind of lazy on that ball inside. I see him in that same pitch, like I say, a couple of weeks ago. Pow! Line shot to right field.
Well, you know as well as anybody that sometimes when you go through these ruts, you just think more and more.
Oh, absolutely. You lose confidence in your mechanics. Try to think your way out of it.
1 ball, 1 strike to Santana. And that one's off the glove of Pena. Santana 10 home runs, 37 runs batted in. Today's game is also available in Spanish. Just use the SAP button on your television or change the language through the menu on your cable box. Inside corner, and it's 2-2. Little delayed call by CB Buckner. CB Buckner behind home plate. Crew chief is fielding Colberth around at third. And it remains 2 balls, 2 strikes.
That's amazing. When you look at Santana as a hitter, how he continues to make contact with 2 strikes with that big swing.
Yeah.
He has no fear of going to 2 strikes at all. He can stick that bat out there on a pitch like that and just get a piece of it.
Yeah, I mean, that's a huge hole on that side. We just showed Field and Colbert. He and Brian O'Nora are the veterans of this umpiring crew, and they'll decide whether the tarp has to be placed on or not. It's a big storm. Let's just say that much. Those guys wearing their John Kruk jerseys. They're on a baseball tour. They got themselves their ponchos. 3-2 pitch. Off the hands over toward the third base side.
Oh no.
Well,
looked like from our vantage point, it looked like it might drop right at third base.
I'm not sure how much longer they can wait, honestly.
Yeah, especially with it.
It's just
that big green
tempo.
thing we're looking at on our phone. Yeah, if this may be the last batter right here.
And now the 3-2 pitch. Outside, ball 4. So that'll put a runner at first base for Kingery. And Brian O'Nora is looking at his watch, and he looked over to Mike Buchholder, and Mike just said 5 more minutes.
Until they want to put it on, or
until it really rains hard. But it's rated pretty hard now.
Yeah, why let it go now?
Yeah, he's coming over to talk to Mike Buchholder, who's the director of grounds.
It's hardly raining.
Yeah. Let's go back to Mike. I don't know. It's really not a perfect science at all.
Well, maybe it's going to stop here in 5 minutes for an hour, but I don't know why you wouldn't put it on now. What, are you going to get one more batter in now?
Maybe. I don't know. Well, maybe he is saying that 5 more minutes they'll be a little more clear. It'll be clearer. One ball and no strikes. So Woodruff just slipped on the mound as he delivered that pitch. Problem is that the infield has taken some pretty good moisture. Over toward third. That's a fair ball. And Shaw goes the short way to second. And that wraps up the first. Well, at least there's going to be a conversation before they decide. 1-0 Phils. They score a run. We'll go to the second inning here in Philadelphia. All-Star ballot is now open and exclusively online. Make sure your favorite Philadelphia Phillies are represented on this year's squad by voting Phillies.com/votes. Catch all the excitement of the 89th MLB All-Star Game presented by MasterCard July 17th live on Fox. Travis Shaw will lead it off. The rain has actually slowed up. Maybe that's what the 5 minutes was.
Sure, right.
If you can
what a
get
science.
through it. Now the first pitch from Eflin gets by the catcher, Knapp. Field and Colbert spent some time talking to Mike Buchholder in between innings, then talked to Craig Counsell. And I think maybe that was what the signal was. It'll be light after 5 minutes. Fly ball right center field. Nick Williams will get there. And 1 out. And Ryan Braun is coming up.
Good play, Nick. Nice little route on that ball.
Well, another early swing by the Brewers.
The thing you have right now is like throwing a wet ball when you're throwing, and not the pitcher, but the fielders. Ryan Braun gets that warm reception. Hey, John Kruk.
Johnny settling in.
How'd it go down there?
A high fly ball to center field. Playable for Odubel. Yeah, there are 2 quick outs. And that'll bring up VR. With 2 away here in the 2nd inning. Johnny, you got 5-3, 4-3, strikeout swinging.
Wait. What?
5-3, 4-3.
Or you can look at mine and it's LO5.
Laugh out loud.
That was a line out that JP caught in the first pitch of the game.
On 1 hop.
On 1 hop, made a nice play. Yelich rolled over to the second baseman. Shaw flew out right there to Nick in right center. And then Braun flew out to Odubel in center field deep. And now we have Villar at the plate,
who is 1 for 8 with a home run.
I missed a lot apparently.
Phillies are up 1-0 as we are here in the top of the 2nd.
Don't give me the
We'll give you this.
yet.
We'll give you the other side here in a minute when this inning's over. We got a chance for a quick inning here, John.
A little low, 2-1.
Yeah, we thought that in game 1 in the first inning when Vince got the first 2 outs and 4 pitches and didn't end well after that.
3 balls, 1 strike.
Is that Jared Eichhoff I saw in there?
Jared's in the dugout. Yep. Phillies are probably going to make an announcement next couple of days about what he'll do moving forward. 3-2. Mike talked about pace of Eflin in the open, and he does have a good pace going today. And a line drive base hit for VR, and that's the first hit of the afternoon.
Sting a little 3-2 fastball to left field, opposite field, right at Hoskins.
But explain to me why J.P. Crawford was playing in on the grass with a 3-2 count.
Right then?
Yeah. No, he wouldn't have caught it.
No.
But look where he is. This is a 3-2 count.
Unless they feel there's a ground ball most of the time in that spot. I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely an out of position thing. Good spot there, John. I missed that one. Took it for granted with 2 strikes and back up.
That's what I mean. I had to look at the scoreboard and think, wait a second, did we miss something here?
Yeah. Pena 1 for 4 in game 1 of this series. Did strike out a few times. Eric Kratz caught yesterday. Kratz had a double
and a pin cushion.
Yeah. 2 shoulder shots.
Hit by 2 pitches. A couple of runs scored. 1 ball and no strikes.
We all got quiet in here because Larry Boa has graced us with his presence.
I thought it was because Patty was in here. Runner goes, pitches low, throw to second base is not in time. Cesar's looking over toward the dugout for some reason.
Those infielders always want to replay. Oh, thinking maybe his hand came off the bag.
Yeah, but it didn't.
Oh, I'm all muddy.
I think everything's okay. Stolen base for VR is his 9th of the year. Brewers have now stolen 43 bases this season. That's a pretty good running team. Kane has 12. Yelich has 7. Braun has 6. VR now has 9. And it's a 2-1 count. A little bit of a lost weapon.
Why do they take those 2-0 fastballs, John?
Well, when you look up there and he's hitting 217, I guess that's why.
Guess he wanted to swing at that one off on his hands.
Cesar will make that grab. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left. Middle of the second, 1-0 Phils. Watching the Phils at the Neighbors Barbecue, at Little League, or while mowing your lawn. Show us where you're streaming your favorite baseball team. Send us your best picks using the hashtag #AuthenticFan. Got to get some mud out of your spikes. That's Zach Eflin. That's a lot of mud. I have a feeling that that's the way it's going to be for most of the day for Zach.
You hope he has to do that a lot.
Yeah. We start the bottom of the second. Williams, Crawford, and Knapp for the Phillies. Phillies as a team hitting .231, which is 13th in the National League in team batting average. I marvel at the fact that the Arizona Diamondbacks are last in the league in hitting, despite leading the National League West.
Well, they play good defense. They got some good starting pitching.
Well, and their bullpen has been really good.
And Goldschmidt's starting to get hot.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, so those numbers will probably rise.
Yes.
Back-to-back 2 home run games, didn't he?
Well, I think he has, what, 3 or 4 3-hit games in a row or something like that?
That sounds right. He was really. So somebody told me that his batting average against 95-mile-an-hour fastballs or more, he's only had like 1 or 2 hits coming into this week against that style of fastball. Broken back ground ball. Williams thrown out. Hustling up the line. 4-3 on the putout.
Well, let me think on that. Maybe a lot of base on balls. Maybe they're moving runners around, not striking out much, getting good pitching, good defense. Can't think it would be anything else.
Has to be all of that. Yep. Crawford hitting .181. ball off the left field line and out of play. Yeah, Goldschmidt 7 RBIs, the two home run games, four 3-hit games in a row.
That'll raise an average.
Sure will. His average has jumped from 208 to 250. That's a nice week.
In June.
Yeah.
Early June.
At the D's, 1-2 to Crawford. If you don't have your glove, use somebody else's. Oh.
Well, they have another glove there. I'll be darned.
Swing at a foul tip. Crawford strikes out. First strikeout for Woodruff. And with 2 outs, here comes Knapp. Woodruff was activated today as Ji-Man Choi was sent down to the minor leagues after his grand slam yesterday.
Rough league, man. That's a rough league. You hit a go-ahead grand slam.
Yeah, but you walk in that clubhouse with your chest out, don't you?
Yeah, you go in there and everyone's congratulating you. Oh, great job, great. Hey, counsel, hey, need to see you. Yeah, you're going down to AAA. Wait, really? What?
But I just did this. There's a fly ball to center field. The wind will take it out toward left center for Kane. You know, the Phillies are retired in order here in the second. 2 in the books. It's 1-0 Phils as we go on to the third here at Citizens Bank Park. Question. Log on to Phillies.com. Go to the fans section for all the information and please submit your answer on the subject line. Guys, the question is, who are the 3 father-son duos to serve as major league managers? The 3 father-son duos to serve as major league managers.
Well, we all know one.
The first set I didn't realize the 2 were managers.
So Mickey Morandini questions our intelligence up here when it comes to Stump the Fan.
Why is that?
He thinks that we're giving the answers beforehand because we seem to get them right a lot. I said, what do you think if we've got the answers beforehand? We'd get them all right?
That's a good point on your part, John.
Common sense tells you that.
Well, I will say that the best part about it, to me, is the ability to give hints, because we don't all know every answer. I mean, none of us do.
Well, some of us do. Some of us know everything. He's down in the dugout. Oh, that's right. It's sprinkling. He's not in the dugout.
I think I just saw him actually.
In here?
In the office.
Working hard.
Well, today's is a good one.
Well, today's act for me. I'm trying to think about the hints for the first 2. For the first one. The second one.
We got 2 of them.
No, I don't think we do.
No, the Francona one is not correct.
No?
Nope. It's a good guess. No balls and 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. Took care of the pitcher. Second strikeout for Eflin. And with 2 away, it'll bring Lorenzo Cain to the plate.
Boy, Cain's hit the ball hard many times in these 3 games. Started off with one. He's 0 for 1, but he hit a rocket on JP already. First ball fastball hitter, no doubt about that.
Fastball in the inside corner. It's 0-1. That ball tailed pretty good.
Got the same bat, John.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's working.
It's kind of broken. Oh, man. 0-2. Cain smiling over to the dugout because the coaches are pointing off to the fair part of the playing field. They're right off the front of the dugout.
Getting flustered with his question now.
Yeah, this is a tough one. This is a good one, though. Upstairs, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
That's a great pitch. That ball was not that close. I mean, it wasn't like it was going to hit him, hit him in the head or anything. It was an upstairs fastball. Love that pitch.
It's even better when it's followed by that. Toward the outer half of the plate, Eflin there to cover, just ahead of Cain. A 9-pitch inning, 3-1 on the putout, and the Brewers go down in order. Here at the top of the 3rd, on to the bottom of the 3rd, 1-0 Phillies. The Pennsylvania Lottery's new scratch-off $300,000 nest egg. Players must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly and buy your local Ford store. Check out every new Ford car, truck, and SUV crossover at buyfordnow.com today. Bottom of the 3rd, it's 1-0 Phillies thanks to a ground out by Rhys Hoskins. And Zach Eflin will lead things off. And Eflin takes a strike at the knees, and it's 0-1. Eflin, by the way, has the longest home run for a pitcher in Major League Baseball this year, 418 feet to center field.
And that's why they're pitching careful to him.
Not anything out over the plate. Fouls it away, 1-2.
I can't function right now with My brain working on these managers. Father-son managers.
Yep. Only been 3. According to our research department. 3-1 on the putout. 1 away. Well, before the ball game today, Phillies honored the late Darren Dalton and the late Jim Fregosi with the ceremonial first pitch. Jim's wife Joni threw out the pitch that Johnny caught. He was, of course, the manager of the 1993 Philadelphia Phillies, and Greg Murphy is with Joni Fregosi.
I am indeed. Thank you very much, Tom. It was such a great ceremony, Joni, before the game, and you got a chance to throw out that first pitch to our partner in there, John Kruk. Pretty special, I would imagine, to be back in Philadelphia and get a chance to be a part of all this.
It was terrific. I'm so feeling fortunate to being back and to seeing all these wild bunch, the eclectic group from '93.
Eclectic is such a nice word. You know, they've been described in many, many ways, but what do you remember about '93 as that season was unfolding? It would, you know, and Jim would come home. What was the overriding thought as that season was unfolding at home?
Well, honestly, Jim was gone a lot. Yeah. And there would be very late nights that he would come home. And one evening, I'm staying at the Holiday Inn, and I'll never forget, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I've got the 2 little ones sleeping. I'm like, where in the hell is Jim? The game's got to be over. And I'm like, where's Jim? Is he in the bar? And down below, there he was. I called the Phillies, and they said, the game is still going on. Look out your window. And that was the night that they created that, where we're no longer playing that late. But this group of guys, I never knew what Jimmy was going to do. He was kind of like the guys.
Well, why was he the perfect manager, do you think, for this group of guys? Because he really was. He was the perfect fit for that 25 men in that clubhouse. Why do you think that was?
Well, honestly, Jim wanted you to be responsible for yourself, and had a lot of fun doing it. But in general, these were his boys. They were like his kids. And yet he thought that they need to be leaders and have fun, but he's old school and believed in the old way of baseball and hold yourself accountable. You can still have fun.
And they did both of those things, and they won too. Was there a time during that season that you remember that you thought to yourself, or maybe Jim said to you, I think we've got a chance here. I think these guys can really do some damage.
Oh, absolutely. He believed in them all the way. He said they had heart. That was his word he used a lot. They have heart. They'll get there. Just watch.
Well, he certainly had a lot of heart as well. He meant so much to so many different organizations. But Philadelphia will always be remembered as the manager of that '93 team. What would you think he would have said today about the ceremony and how special it was to see all these guys again?
I don't think it would have surprised him one bit, because they were so welcoming to us, and they continue to be that way 25 years later. Philly's a great organization. It's always held a special place in our hearts. That was probably some of our best times in married life. So it was good.
Well, that is certainly good to hear. Joni, great to see you. Welcome back to Philadelphia for a couple of days, and congratulations on the ceremony down there on the field.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Yes, you did. Guys, back to you.
All right, Murph, thank you very much. Johnny, I know that Jim meant so much to you. I mean, and he was the perfect guy to manage you guys in '93.
Yeah, he was. You know, he held it, like Joni said, he held us accountable for our actions, but he understood that we like to have fun before and after games, and that's all he asked was, you know, when it came time to lock in, you guys got to get it locked in. And you know, luckily we were, you know, fortunate enough for 1 year to get it locked in all together as a group. And but you know, everyone thought he just stayed in his office and left us alone. He called pretty much every one of us at some point in there to let us know if we didn't do something he liked. He wasn't afraid to let us know.
The other part of Jim Fregosi that, you know, people may not always remember is that he was a very good player too. You know, beyond being a good manager, but he was an excellent ball player for a number of years.
Yeah, I think the stigma with him, though, Schmidt, is he got traded to the Mets for Nolan Ryan.
Yeah.
You know, and he always talked about that to us. You know, like someone get booed, like, man, I hate that. Why do they got to boo me? He goes, yeah, tell me how I feel. I get traded to the Mets for Nolan Ryan. I got to play in New York after they traded this kid throws 150 miles an hour.
That kind of followed Larry for a little bit, too, with Jeff Bagwell, you know, being traded to the Red Sox. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Hoskins with 2 outs here in the third. Broke his bat. lofted it out to shallow center. Kane comes in.
Wow, he can close.
He can. He's a very gifted athlete, and he's able to corral that one for the final out. 1, 2, 3 go the Phillies. We move on to the fourth in a 1-0 game. For all military by sharing a photo or video with hashtag hats off for heroes. For each post, T-Mobile will donate $1 to support veterans. Their first Phillies game. Well, we hope you keep on coming back despite the weather on this Father's Appreciation Day. Mike Buchalter chatting with Field and Colbreth in between innings. Well, they both left smiling, so maybe that's a good thing. Christian Yelich will lead it off. Yelich grounded out to second base his first time up. And a curveball, and it's 1-0. You know, last time out, guys, against the Cubs, Eflin threw more changeups than he's thrown this year. 14% of the pitches were changeups. And then the slider was 10% of the time. Sometimes you look at those secondary pitches and, you know, when you see it increase, it catches your eye, but he maintained his fastball. Like, well, that was still the dominant pitch.
Might be because he got ahead of a lot of batters and he was able to, you know, try to use a strikeout pitch. I don't think he's the kind of guy that'll try to get a strike one with a changeup. Right there, he just threw Yelich a breaking ball for strike one and missed. But I think he likes to spot his fastball in and out, 93, 94 to get ahead, and then when you see a bunch of changeups.
Yeah, there was the changeup right there. You saw the splits, a lot of four-seamers, a lot of two-seamers. And now the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He went after him with the high fastball, 96 on the gun.
That's what I'm talking about. That's the second time he's got a strikeout on that rising high fastball.
He got the run, too. Elevated, running away from a lefty. Ain't quite easy.
Aguilar takes a slider outside, and it's 1-0. On the inside corner, 1 ball, 1 strike. Brings us to our Nissan upgrade with Aguilar at the plate. The leaders in National League leaders in home runs. The Brewers have 81 home runs. 81 home runs, tops in the league. They're 7th in extra base hits. But that's 16 more home runs than the Phillies have. They're not Harvey Wallbangers, but they're getting there.
Yeah. Well, with the Phillies, Reese got off to the great start, and then he struggled. So there goes a lot of your power. Santana got off to a dreadful start, and there's some more of your power.
We had a big block of home runs, from May in the month of May, right? Playing so well.
Swing and a miss.
I remember when Nola pitched a game here and we went down, boom, 3-0 like that. We didn't even blink an eye, worried about we'd come back and win that game. Everything was so positive back then.
And that's the issue. We talk about how great the starting pitching's been, but this particular stretch, you wonder if they think we have to be perfect, because we're not scoring runs. Uncharacteristic of Jake Arrieta. Last couple starts, that's not Jake.
Ground ball right side, Santana. And it's 3-1 on the putout. 1, 2, 3, fourth inning. That's 12 pitches. So he's had 3 innings today, 7, 9, and 12. We'll go to the bottom of the fourth. Local Chevrolet dealers and buy Jefferson Health. Call 800-JEFF now or visit jeffersonhealth.org. Bottom of the fourth inning, the Phillies up 1-0. The rain is very light right now. The job of a groundskeeper is not just to take care of the field, which Mike and his crew do so beautifully here at the ballpark. As Odubel pokes one foul. But on days like this, you gotta watch the weather. Oh, he lost his peanuts too. Left hanging. It was popcorn. I thought it was peanuts. It's popcorn.
Oh, he's got enough there. Lose a little bit.
Yeah.
Starting to rain again.
Yes, it is.
Well, we're in the green.
On your map?
On the phone. Yeah. I mean, I don't know why it's not raining.
Is it a lighter green or a dark
green mean rain?
Green means go, but yeah, green means rain. But if it's lighter, it may not be hitting the ground. Watch this, guys. Ready? Popcorn.
I think he's looking for a little
throwing
air
it up.
The last time you drank water with your popcorn?
At the same time?
Yeah, it doesn't go well. Odubel down looking. Third strikeout for Woodruff. Prior to the ball game today, as we mentioned, it's Father's Appreciation Day. Paul Hoskins was there with his son Reese. And he was honored every year. The Phillies bring in a mom for Mother's Appreciation Day or Mother's Day, and a dad for Father's Appreciation Day. And it was Paul Hoskins who was the winner this year. Gets a chance to spend the weekend with his son Reese. And Murph is standing by with Paul Hoskins. Murph?
I am indeed. Thank you very much, Tom. And well, you have the great responsibility, Paul, to represent every father here at Citizens Bank Park today. I know you're wearing that responsibility very well. It must be nice to get a chance to spend some time with Reese here in Philly.
Very much. It's something I never get to do on Father's Day anymore. So.
Yeah, that is the nature of being a dad with a guy in Major League Baseball. Your son's in Major League Baseball. But talk a little bit about getting a chance to spend some time with him here in Philly, because, you know, I know you were here last year a little bit. Got a chance to see him out in San Fran. But, you know, seeing him here at the home ballpark must be nice.
It's very nice. And just to see the reaction the fans give him, just the way they've embraced him is very fulfilling as a parent.
Yeah, I can only imagine. You know, so we're happy that he is back out there on the field. There was maybe a question whether or not he would be out there yet, coming back from the injury. I'm sure you communicated with him over the last 10 to 14 days. What was the mindset as he recovered from that from the fractured jaw?
It doesn't take him very long to get antsy to get back out on the field. I don't think it is a lifetime he's ever sat and watched his team play 10 games without him. So he was ready to go the day after. So.
Any concern for you as dad, saying, all right, let's not rush this thing, son. You know, we want to make sure you're okay. I mean, you know, that's what dads are supposed to do, right?
And you're right. My immediate reaction when he told me, oh, maybe I'll be playing Sunday, was, you know, have you gotten a doctor's okay on that?
Well, it's a special weekend. You get a chance to be with your daughter as well. Mel is here, and Jamie, of course, Reese's girlfriend, here as well. So as you sit back and just get to relax and watch a little baseball, can you put into words how proud you are of your son down there in the field and your daughter here next to you?
It's fulfilling. Both of them are. Reese has already achieved his childhood dream, and for any parent, I think that has to be the most fulfilling thing to have. And Mel has recently graduated from graduate school, and she's on her way to be to medical school and eventually to be a doctor.
That's what it's all about, no doubt about it. To be proud. Did you give any words of encouragement to Reese down on the field today? Do you still coach him up before a game when you get a chance to?
As little as possible.
You know, that's good parenting, probably, right? Just try to stay out of their way, right?
That's right. That's right.
How cool was it to see him hit that home run, you know, in his first game back with the new helmet on? And also, let me ask you about the fashion statement that he is putting out there with that new helmet.
Well, it looks better than the way he described it. And I think he described it accurately as looking like Magneto.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. Looks like a superhero, he does. Well, Paul, it's great to see you. Happy Father's Day a week in advance, and enjoy your time in Philadelphia.
Thank you, Greg, for having me. It's great to be here.
You got it. Guys, send it back to you.
Well, we appreciate that, Murph, and I think Paul knows how much we appreciate his son. He has been a breath of fresh air on so many levels for all of us since he's arrived in the big leagues. And I know the fans realize that today. Even getting a chance to see him on a daily basis in the Phillies uniform. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Kingery. And that pitch just a bit inside. Speaking of good guys in baseball, join us at Citizens Bank Park this Thursday when the Phillies take on the Rockies. The Phillies will honor Jim Thome as he prepares for his induction in the Hall of Fame with a pregame ceremony. That's the day the anniversary of the day Jim hit his 400th career home run. Get your tickets now by going to Phillies.com.
What a career, Jim Thome.
Oof. Yeah, you know, and I think he's doing a really good job on the MLB Network when he's doing his hits, talking about hitting and.
Oh yeah, he's got this little way about him that is so energetic.
Yes.
And genuine.
I agree with that. Little delayed steal by Kingery, and he is safe at second base. He had the shortstop back on his heels, Sogard, because he was playing that way with Williams up. That is the 5th stolen base for Kingery. It's the first one in a while for the Phillies.
Wow.
Delayed steal.
Perfectly ran. You know, you pick that up. The coach picks that up by watching the defensive players drop their heads. And a defensive player, when the ball goes by the hitter, if they drop their heads, you can tell that you can beat them to second base.
Such an art to it.
Well, and also, you know, the first baseman alerts the catcher he's going. But when you see him take a shuffle step, you automatically, okay, he's not going.
Right.
And so the catcher has a little hesitancy too after he catches the ball.
But it's funny. I've always thought that once you do it, it gets into the scouting report system, and they at some point pre-game would say, hey, now they'll delayed steal, so let's watch, you know, especially this guy Kingery.
Well, maybe we haven't gotten metrics for that yet.
Well, I know that it's been a little while since they've done it, and I don't know if you do it because it gets into the scouting report if you don't do it as often because they're prepared for it. But I like it. I think it's a great weapon that is not seen that often in baseball. Or maybe often enough.
It's raining, Tom.
It is raining. 2 balls, 1 strike. As Williams stays alive and slaps it foul.
Boy, it's tough, John. You can speak to this. That right-hander has that ball running away from you like that, and he's throwing 95 or 94.5 on the fastball. But when he throws one, takes a little off, and that thing runs away from you about 3 inches.
Yeah.
What the hell are you going to do?
Well, it goes from barrel to the cup of the bat.
Right.
Is what happened. But you know, especially with the, you know, like Nick's swing, that launch angle swing, because you.
There's a loop out to left center field, and Braun comes diving in and makes the catch, and he just saved a run.
What a play. I thought we had our second run right there.
Yeah, particularly because of his break on the baseball. Kane was exploding toward it, but Ryan Braun kept his eye on it the whole time, and he's able to make the grab to wrap up this 4th inning. No runs, no hits, and 1 man left. Education or medical field, HP's page-wide technology offers the best of cost of ownership in class, and your dedicated W. Mason driver will deliver your printer wherever you want. Nobody beats WB on HP. Wow. Well, how appropriate it is as the Phillies have a 1-0 lead as we go to the 5th inning. That we have Dave Hollins coming up into the booth here with us and joining us with John Kruk, and I think both were surprised as we looked up at the video board as Paul Fletcher just proposed to his girlfriend and now fiance up on the big video board. Are you guys aware of that? Let's take a look at it right here.
Yeah, and the first one to congratulate him is Boa, so we don't know how this is going to end up. But wow. And we've spent all morning with him. He never mentioned
He wasn't nervous? He wasn't shaking a little bit?
You guys
it's
can't
Fletch.
keep a secret.
Yeah, that's probably it too. I mean, it's Fletch. He didn't talk a whole lot anyway.
Yeah. Well, she seemed to be excited about it, so congratulations. And surprised.
But now here's the bad part. Watch. As soon as he turns around, look who's coming.
Larry.
Bo.
Well, Dave joins us up here in the booth. Dave, it's always good to see you. I know you're still working with the Phils as a scout, so we see you often, but you get a chance now to be in the TV booth. John just said, I don't think I've ever thought I'd see that, you up on in the TV booth.
Well, I can die happy now. I never thought I'd see this day. Just hope it ain't too soon. Why did you do it?
You always said I had a face for radio, so
you wanted to prove that
I
you
thought
didn't.
I'd prove you wrong and show up for a few minutes.
Yeah. Ryan Braun leads it off, and he takes a strike, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike to Braun. All right, so we asked Wes this yesterday. I mean, you guys get a chance to see each other all the time at fantasy camp. You see Johnny from time to time, but it's got to be good to get back together to celebrate that year.
Oh, yeah. We had a lot of fun over the weekend, but every year down in fantasy camp, same thing. The guys get together, and it's nice to get the group back together. There's a few guys here I haven't seen. David West in about 25 years since we stopped playing. Yeah, it was the first time I saw him. And Roger Mason. So.
I thought Westy was at fantasy camp with you guys, no?
No, we lost him for a while. No one knew where he was.
Like Terry Mulholland?
No, no one knew where he was, or Westy was, and from what I understand, the Phillies contacted like the FBI to try to find him, and he was on a fishing boat up in New England. He worked on a fishing boat, so he's like incognito. But he's back in the Memphis area, doing a baseball camp, clinics and stuff, working in a facility.
Ryan Braun pulls into second with a stand-up double. That's his 11th double of the year.
You know, David, we talk a lot, you and I, but yeah, it never gets easy, and that was the one thing. I couldn't wait to see everyone, but then I dreaded because I knew we'd see video. And when you're talking about the people we were close to, Johnny Podge and Mel and Darren, of course, but your relationship with Vuk was pretty special, and it was a fun give and take one too, because you two battled it out a few times. But how difficult was that? I know Amanda was pretty shook and shaken up too about it.
Yeah, it's still fresh with Darren, obviously, with what's gone on in the past year, and seeing Vuki and Fergos and Pods and Mel. I mean, it's been a while. You don't realize how quickly the time goes. The guys who really taught us a lot about playing the game the right way and leaving it all out on the field. So yeah, it was good for me to see it in the video, but then again, it makes you think back how we lost him at too young of an age.
What kind of an impact did Vuk have on you, Dave?
Well, trying to replace the guy next to me at third base, we did a lot of defensive work together, and countless hours of the position, the setup, and working day in and day out. We did the best we could defensively, following Mike, but Vuk, as long as you gave him the effort and put it out there on the field, he didn't have a problem with it. As long as you left it on the field and put the work in, and that was his thing. As long as we work and put in all the hours, you can't question it, and then we leave it on the field and go get him each night. So
David,
he taught me a lot.
When Vuk hits your ground balls, did you ever stand out there and go, man, he's pulling off that ball?
Well, I heard a lot about
He pitched himself tough, right, when he hit ground ball.
He did, but he was so good with the fungo. I mean, really, when the guys ran in the outfield, I don't know if you remember, he could hit it and lead them on the run. It was one of the drills he did.
The pitchers would run, and they throw the ball to the coach, and the coach would throw it. Well, Vuk couldn't throw anymore.
Right.
He had that hitch, and especially throwing it up in the air was difficult. They throw it to him and hit a fungo to him like a quarterback. Perfect.
Right there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Vukovic's first major leaguer I ever saw in the Veterans Stadium clubhouse. When I walked in there as just having signed, he looked like a god. I mean, when he was young and played, unbelievable. And I'll never forget the wide banded jockstrap. Remember those? The wide band. He had Vuk written on there, VUK. I'll never forget the image of seeing that he as the model major leaguer, the first one I ever saw. John
we saw it every night after the games, you know, when he came in the training room with the boots on, no jeans yet, and everything else done, and he'd come in there, see what we were talking about, clean his ears, and then he'd slip those bell bottoms on right over and be out the door. Classic.
Well, Pena's hit by the pitch. That'll put runners on first and third for Sogard.
You know a little bit about that, don't you? Getting hit by pitches.
So it only hurts a little bit.
Yeah. You know, you know, David and I go back when I was with the Padres. He was in the Padres organization. We were talking about it last night about they sent Tony Gwynn and I down to talk to the minor leaguers in spring training. And, you know, Tony was Mr. Padre. You know, he's talking about, you know, can't wait to see you all in San Diego. I'm like, there's 125 of them. You're not going to see them all. You know, we have to expand the roster. And then it was my turn to talk. And I said, forget that. I said, there's 20-something other teams that you guys are playing for. Play for yourselves. And I said, because, look, you got Carlos Baerga, Robbie Alomar. They're all younger than you guys. And right now they're all better than you guys. So you're not going to get here.
I think they're going to call that a hit by pitch for Sogard, so he's going to go to first base. Counsell came running out. They appeal, and Fielding Colbert says no swing or no offer. Here comes Gabe Kapler. You can't use video as far as the swing goes, but you can use video to see if he got hit or not. See if he offered it that.
No, he pulls back, and then it hits his back leg.
And it bounces and hits his back leg.
Well, some strange things have happened to us in the last couple of days.
Well, that's the second straight hit by pitch. When do you see that often? Well, Dave might have seen it, just if somebody else got hit after him or before him. And that loads the bases up now for Woodruff. Actually, it's not going to be Woodruff. It's going to be Hernan Perez. They're going to pinch hit for him. I guess they understand what the weather forecast is.
That's interesting. Yeah, you're right. There's stuff coming.
But so, you know, then what, a year or two later, you got picked up by the Phillies in Rule 5 after I got traded over here. It was an interesting dynamic to have him over with us. It was fun. But, you know, it's the truth. You know, you try to tell these young kids, you know, you look ahead of you and you see guys younger and better.
Yeah.
You better play and try to impress the other teams, because you might end up somewhere else.
Dave, did you expect to get Rule 5? Did you think somebody was going to pick you up?
No, I didn't even know about the Rule 5 at that time. I was actually playing in Mexico in winter ball for the team Johnny played for, the Aguilas in Mexico, when I got the call.
Mm-hmm.
But when Johnny spoke to us, it was a lot more colorful than when Tony spoke to us about playing for the Padres someday.
Glad I've matured since then.
Yes, you have.
You know, I think it is amazing when you think about your '93 team, just how it was all pieced together, because it wasn't all homegrown guys, obviously, and it's just the way that they built it. It was just everybody was together at the right place at the right time. I mean, it was a perfect puzzle put together.
A lot of guys that no one wanted.
Well, yeah, it was that too,
which was nice. Hungry.
How about that? The number of walks a couple of guys got that year.
Yeah, 3 guys with 100 walks.
You had 3 with 100. You had 90
something. Yeah, Dave was right on the doorstep.
97 or something like that.
And runs scored. Dykstra scored $140.
But 141, I think it was.
But he had three or four guys with 100 runs scored too, or something like that.
Yeah.
Did you have 100 that year?
104. It's fun when you're in a lineup where the guys around you can all do their thing, and you just take what the pitcher gives you, and if he doesn't pitch to you, you can take your walk, because you know you got a guy coming up behind you who can do damage. And when it becomes contagious through a lineup, that Mike, as you know, that's when it's fun.
Oh, absolutely.
That's when it's fun.
There's the numbers on the screen right there.
42 for strikes, 6-7.
194 hits, Dykstra.
194 hits for Dykstra, 141 runs. I mean, that's.
Yeah, we went at one point we went I think we went 5 or 6 games in a row where we scored in the first inning without getting a hit.
Oh, really?
Lenny would walk, reach on an error, whatever, and steal second. And our guys would get them over, and then one of us, someone would hit a sac fly or a ground ball and score the run.
Yeah, he had an amazing year, as we know.
There's a big strikeout. 5 strikeouts now for Eflin. Yeah, the bases remain loaded as Lorenzo Cain is coming to play. Let's take a look at this fastball here. Oh yeah, some run on that.
Perez might not have been ready to hit.
He got put up there pretty quickly. Dave, besides getting to the World Series, what's the lasting impression you have from that '93 team? Is it the friendships? Is it the, just the camaraderie, all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, and the clinching of beating the Braves in the playoffs, that was probably the most exciting part. First time in the World Series, you're kind of, going through something that you're not expecting to experience. I don't know how you felt the first time you were in the World Series, but clinching that NLCS was the most exciting part, probably because of the way it ended for us. But that group of guys, we were special. It wasn't a...
That's not good. It hit Eflin's hand.
Yeah, and the run scores to tie the game up at 1, but now the concern is on Zach as he put his hand up. Sean Fakasny and Gabe Kapler both coming out. Zach asks for the baseball back and starts rubbing it up. So Braun scores. It's a 1-1 game here in the top of the 5th inning.
I think too that clinching at home in front of the fans, because that year was, Smitty, you experienced it, how loud the vet could get. Oh my goodness. Like, I don't know how you all were, but like after every playoff game and World Series game we play here, I had an unbelievably bad headache. It was so loud.
I tell you, I'll never forget the moments, after the final outs and those things, and grinding through the tough games and comebacks and all that kind of stuff. But the thing I think I love the most is the friendships. As time goes on, those are things that they can never take away from you, and you can always, sort of rekindle those by, like you say, coming to things like this and meeting the guys you haven't seen in 25 years, and so those fraternal memories that you have, I think, are the most important. And
what's great too is like the eras have all, like I'm friends with a lot of you guys that we never played with in the 80s. You, Booney, Bull, all, Bull, of course, but. It's like generational but we're all together. Like and the Phillies do a great job of making it family.
Yes, they do.
It's incredible because I've talked to other players and organizations. Like they have no idea they know about their history. They don't know the guys personally. Like we know our history personally, which is incredible.
Yeah, from 70, you're talking 25, 30. I mean, I've been around the Phillies for 45 years?
Yeah.
50 years. And there's people still around here that I'm friends with since I first came here.
Yeah, and as just watching all you guys interact with each other and just see how close, Mike, you with your guys from the 80 team, you guys from the 93 team, and I think the guys from the 08 team will be this way too. I think it's pretty special to see how you guys interact with each other too. That you still have that connection.
Well, we'll have the connection with those 08 guys too once they start retiring more and they start getting elected into these reunion things like this summer. They'll be here, so we'll get connected with them a lot.
3 balls and 1 strike to Yelich with the bases loaded and 2 outs here in the top of the 5th inning. Brewers have scored a run. Got a foul ball. We're spending some time with Dave Hollins up here in the booth. Dave, of course, was the rock over third base for the Phillies in the run in 1993. Still working with the Phils as a scout, so he's seen all these young guys come through the organization.
How many miles you put on your truck a year? You don't fly.
Only to Florida I fly.
Well, driven there this year, I think, didn't you?
Runners go. Ball's fouled away.
I mean, when your son was playing down there and you were driving down there.
Yeah, to get his truck down there, right?
Do you tell your kids about that '93 season a lot? I mean, I know, Bubba's playing right now, and
do
you pass that stuff on it?
Sure. Yeah, they know all about the guys, and they follow the team from the tapes we have, and meeting the guys at fantasy camp.
Yeah.
Well, it's touched my kids. Listen to me talk about us, about our guys. So much so that my daughter now wears number 10. And I asked her, I said, why you wear number 10? She goes, for Darren. I said, oh. It took me by surprise, brought tears to my eyes, but
that's pretty neat.
Yeah, definitely neat.
I said, number 29 is not a bad number. Yeah, who wore that one? Come on.
She listens to you every day. She doesn't need to wear your number. Well, bases loaded. I guess it was a walk. It came awfully close to hitting Christian Yelich, and now Rick Kranitz is on the phone. This inning has sort of unraveled for Zach Eflin. 2 hit batters and an infield single and a walk, and now you've got Aguiar, who can hit it a mile, who has struck out twice, who's up for the Brewers. And all of a sudden Milwaukee has the lead here in the top of the 5th inning.
We're still going out to dinner tonight, right?
Yeah.
You guys all hanging around tonight? Is everybody going back? Are you guys, most of you guys hanging around?
I think a lot of guys are leaving tomorrow.
Are they? Good. 1 ball and 1 strike
and
to Aguiar.
You drove down from Buffalo?
I did. I'm going to
Toronto,
Lehigh
right?
Valley
Weren't you in
tomorrow. Toronto for 2 days, and then heading to Lehigh Valley to see our AAA guys tomorrow.
You're going to see some pretty good pitchers, I think, when you're up there. If De Los Santos is going to pitch. Swing and a miss.
Looking forward to seeing him. I haven't seen him pitch yet this year.
Dave, you still like being involved in the game, and the fact that you're still here and after all these years?
Oh yeah, I enjoy what I'm doing and seeing our young guys work their way through the system, and excited for what's to come with the group we have. They're just cutting their teeth now, and another year or two it could be real exciting with the group we have.
Just hope the young man down in Clearwater's arm's okay.
Sixto Sanchez.
Sixto Sanchez had to leave yesterday, Tom, with an elbow.
He was placed on the DL yesterday. I don't know if he left yesterday or if it was the day before, but Joe Jordan seemed to be, confident that it was just a little inflammation, that he would be okay.
Yeah, I'm anxious to see him. It's been fun watching Sir Anthony.
Yeah, he's a pretty exciting kid too. We've got some arms coming.
Foul ball. It remains 2-2. You guys, I mean, John, I think I know this answer with you, but Dave, do you have anything from the '93 team that you still keep besides your ring, your championship ring?
Well, I just have all the stuff, memorabilia. You mean like
your jerseys and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, we kept all those. Yeah.
I think the biggest thing is the bat that they send, and 93 AL East champs or whatever, and everyone signed it. That to me is the best, because it's about our team, and at that individual stuff I could care less, but the stuff that's signed by the team is the most precious things I have, because you could look at it and
you can actually read the autographs probably.
Yeah, but you can look back, and then immediate thoughts come.
Well, there's a beautiful pitch on the outside part of the plate. Aguiar doesn't think so. 8 men come to the plate in the inning for the Brewers. Dave, it's always great to see you, buddy. Thanks for joining us today.
Enjoy it. Thank you.
Great Dave Hollins with us up here in the TV booth. His introduction to the world of TV. Phillies trail at 2-1 as we go to the bottom half of the 5th inning.
He's immediate darling.
Citizens Bank minor league report. Citizens Bank, the official bank of the Phils. Visit citizensbank.com. Well, yesterday, Matt McBride hit a home run. It's always good to see Matt have success being back home in Lehigh Valley. Lehigh Valley lost to Charlotte 8-6. Reading defeated Erie 8-5. Cord Sandberg 4 hits. Clearwater lost to Charlotte. Adam Hazley is smoking hot. His on-base percentage is through the roof. And Lakewood defeated Greensboro 6-5. Today, Lehigh Valley leads Charlotte 4-zip. Joey Meneses has 2 home runs and 4 RBIs. Well, that guy is just having a torrid first half for the Iron Pigs. Dan Jennings is the new pitcher, as he will take over for to face J.P. Crawford, taking over for Brandon Woodruff, who went 4 innings, 1 hit and 1 run. And the Brewers have the lead.
Did you see what he was doing? He had like a card in his hat. Jennings did, and he took it off, went behind the mound, and looked at it. Like, I wonder what, like, is it like something that reconfirm?
Could.
Maybe it has a like a Bible verse or something on it.
Yeah,
maybe.
It could be a prayer, or it could be something just to kind of get his mind straight. JP takes outside, and it's 1 ball and no strikes.
I remember when Schill pitched. You know, he'd throw the ball around the infield first inning, he throws warm-up pitch, he'd get the ball from David, go behind the mound, he had a cross, and he put the cross up to his lips and start praying. I'm like, oh man. I hope he says the right thing.
2 balls and no strikes. It's always great to talk to Dave Hollins. I mean, Johnny, I know you can probably describe it better, just how intense Dave was as a ball player.
Yeah, you know, we've had long discussions about he needs to change a little bit, you know. Like, he's actually become a gentleman, outgoing. Man, I didn't think that I'd ever see that day.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah. Yeah, great-hearted guy. Like you said, we probably talk at least once a week. You know, he's a proud father of his 5 children.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
JP with a leadoff single here in the 5th inning.
Maybe we can answer back.
And here is Knapp with Altair coming into the on-deck circle, a pinch hit for Eflin. Neris is warming up in the bullpen.
Where'd Bo go? I thought Bo was coming on.
No, Bo was just coming up to get his golf shirts that Mike got him.
Really?
Yeah.
You still have those?
Yes. Not anymore, I don't.
Oh, you sure heard that conversation down there. You're telling Patty, his wife Patty, go up there and get those. She goes, I'm not going up there, Larry. Well, it's just Smitty and Crookie up there. Go get them. And I said, well, I'm not up there. I'm standing here beside you, but good try.
Pitch outside, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. Knapp flied out to center field, and is only at bat. He's 0 for 1. Phillies might want to get Eflin out of there just to take a look at that hand too. Over to third base, backhanded, then dropped by Shaw, and everybody is safe.
That took a funky hop. It looked like it came back on it.
Yeah, an interesting score right here. Nice to see Knapp hit one hard like that. Well, that's going to be a tough call for the scorer. I would have to score it an error. Heck, if he doesn't have his glove turned around. But we'll see.
It has been scored an error. So the 6th error of the year for Shaw.
That can happen if you put it in play.
All right, so now they bring Altair back, and they let Eflin come up to hit. And maybe they can have him sacrifice to put runners at first and second. Got a bunt toward third. Their wheel play is on. The bunt goes to the right of the plate. They go to third. He's safe. And everybody is safe. That wasn't a good decision. Crawford got an excellent jump off second base. Sacrifice fielder's choice is the score. It's the 3rd career sacrifice for Eflin.
Watch Crawford here. Boom, good jump.
Yeah,
good secondary lead. You know, he runs good, but those are the kind of things you need. Right there. Great hustle play. Good base running. Actually, Aguilar made a pretty good play. He caught that ball and wheel, went right to third.
I don't. Did Sogard's vacate? But did Sogard's vacate the shortstop position too? Like he came in behind him and then he took off quick.
He definitely took off. So now here's Cesar with the bases loaded and nobody out. It's low, 1 ball and no strikes.
By the way, you don't have to be a hero. Take what the game gives you. Keep the line moving, right, John?
Absolutely. Especially with the top of the order, you got what you would think in the lineup would be your better hitters coming up. Pass the torch.
Down and away, 3-0.
Nobody warming up. I say that because we got a pretty good hitter on deck.
And a strike, 3-1. And a bouncer, so it's 3 balls and 2 strikes with nobody out here in the 5th inning. Boy, the Phils could use a gapper right now, couldn't they? There's struggles with runners in scoring position we've talked about over the last several days. It'd be nice to get a big hit here. Outside, ball 4, or a bases loaded walk, and the Phils tie it up at 2. And Rhys Hoskins is coming up. Derek Johnson out to talk to his left-hander. There's still nobody out. Well, don't forget the Yankees are coming to town. A little interleague baseball here at Citizens Bank Park. It begins Monday, June 25th at 7:05. It's a 3-game series with all night games. Tickets can be purchased now by going to Phillies.com. Yankees play later on tonight against the Mets on Sunday Night Baseball. Not too much of a surprise there. The Red Sox, meanwhile, are trailing at 3-1 of the White Sox in the 6th inning.
You're not surprised that the Mets are playing Yankees?
Every time they play each other, it's on Sunday Night Baseball.
How many of those games you do over the years, John?
About 15 or 20 too many.
The Red Sox and Yankees, or the Yankees and the Mets.
Yep.
Yeah, but you know what? It's a ratings-driven industry.
Oh, I'm
sure is.
Those were the 2 biggest rated teams, the Yankees and the Red Sox. So, hey, trust me, we heard it from the players. As a matter of fact, I told one of the players they complained about, you guys make us play on Sunday night every night. And this is like years ago when and the only team I could think of was struggling really bad was the Royals. I said, I tell you what, you want to fix that? You're a free agent at the end of the year? Go play in Kansas City, see how many Sunday night games you play. He looked at me and he goes, you know what, good point.
1 ball and no strikes to Hoskins. Out toward right center field. That'll get the go-ahead run home. Kane says he has it. He'll settle under it. Here comes Knapp. He'll come home. The throw goes to second. And it's 3-2 in favor of the Phils. Rhys Hoskins with his 2nd RBI of the day. Eflin goes over to 3rd.
Yep, that accomplished a lot right there. Gets an RBI, advances the runner to third with 1 out. Nice play by Kane throwing the ball to second base. All right, Odubel, here's your chance to get a nice RBI. Got to do is put the ball in play.
Crawford, his secondary lead off second base, by the way, in this inning on the bunt by Eflin. Made sure that Phillies had the bases loaded at one point. A little low, and it's 1 ball and no strikes.
Apparently Eflin's staying in this game.
Yeah, it looks like the mound is covered up again. He's got the lead back. Jacob Barnes is warming up for the Brewers. Bouncer over to first base. Aguilar is going to second for 1. Back over to first, and Odubel beats it. And a run scores. It's 4-2.
The little things.
Well, again, put the ball in play.
Hustle. Beat it by half a step at first base. Got the Phillies a run. I thought Aguilar turned that ball pretty good for a right-handed first baseman.
Yeah, pretty quick. Just that one big hop, though, that split second. That thing gets to him a split second quicker. It's a double play.
Carlos Santana is now the hitter. He is 0 for 1. He walked his first time up. And a pop-up on the right side. Remember yesterday Aguilar had trouble with pop-ups. This time he's able to make the catch, and the side is retired. The Phillies get 1 hit in the inning, but they score 3 runs. On to the top of the 6th inning. 4-2 Phils. The week was signed as a 16-year-old from the Dominican Republic. Nearly 7 years later, Sir Anthony Dominguez is taking the mound as one of the most confident relief pitchers in all of baseball. For the first 11 appearances since his debut on May 7th, the right-hander threw 13 2/3 innings, allowing 2 hits, 0 runs, 0 walks, while striking out 15 of the 43 batters he faced. He can bring it in the high 90s. And it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Sir Anthony Dominguez is warming up in the bullpen for the Phillies, but Zach Eflin is still out there. As Eflin begins the top of the 6th inning, he'll face Travis Shaw, Ryan Braun, and Jonathan VR. Listen, Eflin was cruising until the 5th inning, so maybe he can find what he had the first 4 innings here in the 6th, with the Phillies now having a 2-run lead. Johnny, get ready for this one. Murph is with your buddy Mickey Morandini as we speak right now.
Oh, boy.
Murph?
Ask a couple questions in a minute, but let me ask a couple to Mickey first. Nice to see you, man. It's good to see
you. I miss you in the dugout.
I know we were not down together down there at the end of the dugout anymore, but you're still here, you're still around. You're an ambassador for this club. How do you like the new responsibility?
I like it. It's been good. It's been fun. You know, I'm meeting a lot of new people, a lot of Philly fans, a lot of suite holders, you know, season ticket holders, sponsors, things like that. It's been fun.
All right, let's talk a little bit about this, why you're here today, you know, with all of your former teammates, this 93 team. It holds such a special place in Philadelphia. We've been talking about it, you know, all weekend long. What about you? Where does it sit for you in terms of the specialness in your baseball career?
Oh, it's at the top, no question. Be able to play in the World Series and be able to have the kind of relationships that I have with these guys that are here this weekend. It was a special year. Special time, a great group of guys, and it was an honor to be a part of it.
You know, you're here in Philadelphia, and you have been over the last couple of years, and you make your home here. So, but some of these guys you probably haven't seen in a while. I know you see some of them down at fantasy camp, but a couple of new faces that we haven't seen in a couple of years.
Yeah, like Bobby Thigpen and Fletch, who just, you know, getting married, and Roger Mason and those guys. Yeah, I haven't seen them in quite a while. Tony Longmire, those guys. So it's nice to see those guys. You know, I get to see Stock and Crucky and Milt Thompson, those guys, like you said, down in Florida. But it's nice to see the guys I haven't seen in a while.
And we got a ball coming right back at us. You'd have made that play, right?
I would have saved you.
I don't need saving.
You caught it. You wouldn't have. I've seen you play. You can't catch.
All right, let's get back to the interview. Hey, you know, one of the things that was so special about that 93 team is that everybody bought in to what was trying to happen, and yourself at second base, you shared time with Duncan, and you know, it was a kind of thing that I'm sure you wanted to play every day, but it was that mentality that helped you guys, you know, get to where you got to.
It was a total team thing. It really was, and it all started with Darren Dalton, the leadership in the clubhouse. But you know, we had 3 platoons working to perfection, and that was Jim Fregosi coming to us and saying, "This is the way it's going to be. I know it can work. You guys." You know, I hope you understand it. And we bought into it. And, you know, Mariano was great against left-handed pitching, and I was good against right-handed pitching, and same with the left field and the right field platoon, and it worked out well.
Yeah, and, you know, it's something we don't see a whole lot of anymore, which, you know, when you think back to 93 and how well it worked, maybe it surprises you a little bit that you don't see it, but nowadays it's more about you know, guys getting out there and getting out there every day.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you want your right fielder and your left fielder. Usually there are power guys in the lineup. You want them out there every day. So yeah, you don't see it too much now, but back then for one season and for us it worked.
All right, best memory. Do you have a particular memory? I know a lot of the guys have been saying, you know, the clinching game against the Braves. Other than that, can you think of something during the regular season that you think to yourself, wow, I'll never forget that?
You know, there were a couple things. 2, and I'm going to say because they involved me, and I remember them the most, obviously. But when we were on the West Coast, Milt had a game-winning save of a grand slam over the wall, and then the next day I dove for a ball and saved the game in the 9th inning when Mitch was pitching. So that was one thing. The Mariano Duncan grand slam against Lee Smith, and then obviously the playoffs and the triple off Maddox was very special.
And here we sit 25 years later, and those memories are so fresh for not just the guys that played in the games, but for the fans that watched them at home. And it's got to feel very special when you get back out there on the field and know that you're recognized for the accomplishments you guys did.
It really does, and I think that's the most beloved team, even though we didn't win a championship. It's the most beloved team here in Philadelphia as far as the Phillies are concerned. And it was just the way we grinded games out, and you know, we weren't supposed to win anything that year. We were picked coming last by every major publication. So for us to come out and play well early and finish strong, win, you know, go to the World Series, it was try to run.
It certainly was. Well, enjoy the rest of your weekend with these guys. Mickey, it's always good to see you. We'll see you around.
Yeah, we'll see you, buddy.
All right, we'll get you out on the golf course.
Sounds good.
Mickey Morandini. Guys, back inside.
All right, thank you, Murph. We appreciate that. You know, Mickey mentioned a couple of names that we haven't really mentioned. One was Bobby Thigpen. There were a lot of guys that, you know, may not have been there at the end, but were there during parts of that season that had such a major impact on that team.
Mark Davis.
Yeah, Mark Davis, right.
Yeah, that was, I think that was the one thing about that season that I didn't understand is he bit the bullet for us. We were in St. Louis and just getting annihilated, and he pitched 2 or 3 days in a row. And the one, he was getting hit around, and we were getting crushed. And Jimmy came out and he said, "Jimmy, don't take me out." He said, "I don't care if my arm falls off. We got to save the bullpen." and he stayed out there for a few more innings. I mean, he really ate up innings and saved our bullpen. And then when we got back to Philly, they released him. We were pissed. Generally upset that happened because Mark was a great teammate, and like I said, he bit the bullet for himself and for our bullpen, and you know, trust me, we didn't forget it.
Pitching leaders that season, Schill and Tommy Green won 16 games. Terry Mulholland, 3.25 ERA. Larry and David West were the bullpen ERA leaders. Mitch had 43 saves that year.
Those two, Larry and David West, oh my goodness, were they funny.
Talk about running mates.
You know how Larry's funny.
Oh, yeah.
David West is as funny. I mean, he's hilarious. He used to sit back here and eat deviled eggs and drink chocolate milk.
Breakfast of Champions.
Well, it was not a great smelling room after that.
There's Westy.
Just, you know, deviled eggs itself. He's a beauty, though. I mean, he's a beautiful man.
Two balls, 2 strikes.
Like, I was with Ben Rivera last night, hanging out with Ben and Westy today, but you don't realize how big they are.
Oh, Ben Rivera was a big dude.
Man,
and you're right, David is too.
Like how tall they were. Like, there's Ben, one of the nicest men you'll ever meet.
Sitting next to Jim Eisenreich.
Another one of the nicest men you'll ever meet.
Pratty's next to them. Todd Pratt.
Tank. Now, he came up big for us, and you know, get Darren caught seemingly every day, but
outside 3-2.
But you know, he had some big hits for us that year.
Having trouble getting that third out in a couple of these innings. 2 Ks in a row.
Try to get VR. 8 strikeouts for Eflin today. His career high is 9, which he did against the Giants earlier this season. Give this young man some credit, bouncing back after taking that ball off the hand, giving up a couple of runs. Balls, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. He got him. He struck out the side. He has K'd 4 consecutive hitters, and he has 9 overall. He gets VR after a long battle. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. The Phillies with a 4-2 lead. ChooseNissan.com. And by WB Mason. Who bought WB Mason for fast free delivery? Nobody does it better. On a cool, rainy day here in the city of Philadelphia, the Phils have a 4-2 lead. Zach Eflin's 6 solid innings today. He's probably done, but we'll wait and see. We thought he was done after 5. Scott Kingery will lead things off. Scotty's 0 for 1. He did have a stolen base when he was on board last time.
Eflin just struck out 3 hitters in a row. It's hard to take a guy out, right?
Well, his pitch count was is in the low 90s. And it looked like they wanted him out after 5. Over to third base, Shaw, glove side. And 1 out. 94 pitches for Eflin right now. And it looks like Dominguez is getting back up on the mound in the bullpen. So
they had Hector warming up in the 5th.
right.
That's
There's your sign.
Sign. So they had Hector warming up in the 5th. Luis pitched yesterday. Adam Morgan pitched yesterday.
Ramos yesterday.
So do they send Sir Anthony out there for 3?
Oof, off day tomorrow. I think at least 2. I do think
I
at least 2.
agree with 2, but if it stays a 2-run game, who pitches the 9th?
Well, you could put Hunter out there, although he pitched yesterday. Arano's still available. Maybe it's Hector. I don't know. Toward the hole on the right side. I get what you're saying. 4-3 on the putout. 2 outs.
We need some more hints.
Well, I'm trying. So it's the Ram Truck Stump the Fans trivia question. Answer: 3 father-son duos to serve as major league managers. We want to preface this by saying that Connie Mack and his son are not included because they're not recognized by the official statistician Elias.
All right. Well, we can
There's
eliminate
no record
Connie
for.
Well, we can eliminate the Max.
Yeah. There's no record for the son.
I feel like I got run over by a Mac.
Well, there's no record for the son because Connie was managing. He filled in while Connie was still the manager, so he didn't get the wins or losses. All right, so I know you know one. Which one? The Boone boys, right? Aaron and Bob. That's one.
Okay.
Yep, that's correct. A liner out toward right center field, and Yelich can't get it. It's going to go to the wall. And Crawford on his way to second base. He may think about 3, but puts the brakes on. So a 2-out double.
Tell you what, that's going to go a long way, Tom, in the minds of the Phillies. Crawford with 2 base hits against left-handed pitching. A good base running last time.
That's a good point.
Yes, it is. That's what that was an issue with
I
him.
think he has a better chance against lefties than righties because most lefties can't elevate the fastball. You know, lefties are taught to sink it, run it, keep it down. All right, so I thought maybe the Bells. I didn't know if David was an interim manager.
David
for a
hasn't
while.
managed. Yeah, David was on the cusp. Everybody thought of managing, but now he's back in the front office. But it's similar. All right, so this guy managed the Cleveland Indians in the early 2000s. Was a catcher in his big league career. Real tall catcher in his big league career. Played from 83 to 91 as a catcher and was the manager of the Indians in 2002. And is currently the Rochester Red Wings manager. So he and his dad managed in the big leagues.
Tall catcher for the Indians.
Yep.
In 2000.
Tall, slender catcher. Swing and a miss. 1-1. He's known more for his defense than his offense. Well,
Bob Melvin?
No, but sometimes I thought about Bob Melvin when I thought about this cat.
Oh boy.
How about Joel and Bob Skinner?
Oh gosh.
6'4".
Yeah.
And it's 1-2. And here's the answer. The other 2 I think would be tough for me to give you hints for because I mean one is a Hall of Famer. It's the Sisslers. You wouldn't have gotten that one, Mike?
No way. No, I had no chance at either.
Even though the Reds were involved at one point?
And you could have given as many hints as you wanted probably on that one.
Yeah, that's
besides spelling their name?
That's a good question. That was a good question.
That was a tough one. So there, Mickey, we don't know the answers. We're not given the answers. Michael and I are just smart people.
That's right.
Today, not so much, but normally very intelligent.
Well, I'll throw this on my shoulders a little bit too. I needed to give you better hints, and
you couldn't.
Well, I don't think hints would have helped.
I don't know if the Sisslers were giving me trouble to give you hints. I mean, I knew one was Hall of Famer, but it was hard to get anything more than that. 2-2 to Knapp. Here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Inside 3-2.
But does that make sense about JP and left-handed pitchers?
Yeah.
Like most lefties can't really elevate. I mean, the Chris Sales of the world can.
Sandy Koufax.
Well, if he faces Sandy Koufax, and we've got a story.
Still have to deal with that hook, though.
But you're talking about like what lefties? Gio?
Yeah, he's more of a curveball guy.
Yeah. You know, who else in this division is left-handed?
Matz is, I mean, he can get it, but it's not his primary out.
Yeah.
No, I buy that. Aaron Altair is now the hitter. Runners on first and second. And now Derek Johnson back out. Bullpen is still quiet. Maybe they're trying to get somebody up. Although it doesn't look like it. All right, so the line on Eflin is 6 innings and only 3 hits. 2 runs, 1 walk, and 9 strikeouts. The 9 strikeouts ties his career high. Barnes has been warming up and had sat down, had gone back to his seat. There's Zach. Remind you that fireworks nights are coming up June 29th and 30th against the Nationals. 7:05 and 6:05. It's the Xfinity fireworks shows. Stay after the game for the best fireworks shows in the city. Go to Phillies.com to get your tickets.
John, you big fireworks guy?
Bouncer toward the shift. Diving stop by VR, and he can't get him. Bases are loaded.
Yes.
You like it?
Well, I do, because if we can get out of here before they're over, where there's not a lot of traffic.
And you like to watch them from the Walt Whitman Bridge?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah,
sure.
You're one of those. Ooh.
Ah. Ooh. I marvel at how they can do all that.
Oh,
like
yeah,
how they can.
yeah.
I think that's amazing.
That's true, but
Tell you what, that's a heck of a play by Villar, though, to save a run.
not a good play throwing it to first.
Well, he might have forgot who was running.
Right.
Inside to Cesar.
Cesar 2 at-bats in a row with the bases loaded.
That walked his last time and got an RBI. 44 walks now for Cesar, on pace to have more than 100 walks this year and 100 RBIs. Inside corner.
100 walks and 100.
100 runs scored. I'm sorry, not RBIs. 100 runs scored.
I'm going to say, he might want to pick up the pace a hair if he's going to get to 100.
Out front, 1-2.
I'd say that'd be a heck of a hot streak. He's got 22 now. Means he needs 78.
He'd be the player of the month every month.
78 and what, little more than half a season left.
Yeah, we have today's game number 63.
For 100 games, he needs 70 RBIs. He can do it.
Strike 3 called. A hit there would have helped, but the Phillies still have the lead as we go to the 7th inning. It's 4-2. Phil's on top. Time now for your Delaware Valley Honda Dealers game summary. Well, the Phils jumped out to a 1-0 lead on a ground out by Hoskins in the first, but then the Brewers scored 2 in the 5th. Fortunately, though, the Phils came back with 3 in the bottom of the 5th. Nice outing by Zach Eflin, 9 strikeouts over 6. He's done. Sir Anthony Dominguez begins. Dominguez 17 strikeouts in 16 innings. And he'll go to work against Manny Pena. And it's 0-1.
It looked like it moved like a cutter.
We've asked him about it. He said that it isn't a cutter. It's just the way he throws the baseball. But it has to be the way he holds the baseball, where the pressure points are. Because it does have natural cut at 97, 98.
Well, I heard Kingery say it. They said, "What do you see when you're playing behind Sir Anthony?" He said, "I've never seen a 98-mile-an-hour cutter."
It is remarkable.
That was nice when all the players came over, and I'm sure there's probably times like, all right, get these old guys off the field and let us play.
Oh, in the pregame?
Yeah, that was nice.
I think it's always good when, current players understand the history of the ball club.
Vital.
I mean, it's an old ball club, so there's a lot of history, but to see guys that have enjoyed success. Here we go. Reese with Mickey. Leiter with Dave Hollins.
And Cesar came over and he goes, almost walked right past me. Right, he goes, "I see you every day."
One out. Jeff Manto, Michael Franco. Combination.
You may not think they respect the history of the game, but they do.
No. I just think it's important. When I was in San Diego, their history wasn't, it was Ozzie, Dave Winfield, Randy Jones, all those guys. You got to know them. But when you get here, it's, of course, Mike just got done. Mike just retired a couple weeks before I got here. But like you knew, Lefty, Schmitty, Robin, Jim Bunning, you knew about those guys, and anyone who didn't take advantage of that, the idiot is a complete and utter idiot.
Let me clarify what I said. I mean, you may not think. I mean, generally, us old guys sometimes think that the current generation doesn't know the history of the game like we did when we played, right? And I'm not sure that the generation before us probably didn't think we knew it.
But like when we were growing up, what else did we have to do? We didn't have all the things that they have now to keep their minds occupied.
100%.
It was sports.
Yeah, agreed, 100%.
Sports, baseball cards, all those things.
And like I had a cheating advantage about the Phillies organization because Larry Bow was one of my brother's, my second oldest brother's favorite player. Now, you got to meet him first.
Change up.
It's a lot of Ks in a row here, guys.
Yep, it is 6 in a row for the Phil's pitchers. How about a 91-mile-an-hour changeup?
See how hard that thing was spinning? See, now I don't think we need anything sort of machine to tell us that he has a good spin rate on his changeup.
Sure does. I don't think you need a machine.
No. How do they judge that? Like,
it's rotations.
Why no? Who counts it?
It's just the computer. Cameras, they're all over the place, John.
They have
1800
like these microwaves everywhere in the stadium that just pick up everything.
I hope they don't pick up everything.
Everything.
You can't get away with anything. Every person in the stadium right now has a camera on them.
Arcia pitch hitting, fouls a 98-mile-an-hour fastball back. It's 1-1.
Then I'm going to get fired today.
They didn't see all of it.
No, we were joking down there about. I just was signing autographs down at Concourse Day, and I was with Wes and Tony Longmire, and Wes has the beard now, and he's got some gray in it, and so we started calling him Chili Claus. And I'm sure people probably didn't like that, but he got a kick out of it. But
1 ball and 2 strikes to Arcia. And he fouls it away to stay alive.
Wow. 98 mile per hour. Did you see that ball cut?
Yeah, he does something as he lets it go.
Look at this pitch. Look at it going away from the hitter.
You throw that.
Look at the dent it put in the thing behind.
You throw that center of the plate, and it's going to cut to the outer half. Toward the middle. Kingery to his left. He's up with it. And it's a 1-2-3 inning. Sir Anthony Dominguez, 15 pitches to get through the 7th. Well, the book Macho Row, which talked about the 1993 Phils. The author Bill Michetis is signing some autographs and signing some of those books. As we go to the bottom half of the 7th inning, as the rain starts to pick up just a little bit. Sir Anthony Dominguez, 15 pitches to get through his 7th inning. Rather dominant, as many of his outings have been. And
He
Jacob
finally gave up a run, though, didn't he?
He was out when the run scored. It was on the grand slam, but yeah, he was even in that outing. The first inning, he was electric against the Cubs. Second inning, he did have some wildness. So Barnes warming up out of the mounds. The Fanatic was one of these great looking hats. You can get one of these hats as well if you want to be one of our special Authentic fans, and you want to purchase the Authentic Fan ticket deal. Discounted tickets, a great looking lid, and more. Just head over to Phillies.com/Authentic Fan and grab your tickets to the June 19th game against the Cardinals.
Do we have any white and red ones in there?
We don't have them here, but we do have them back at the studio.
I got to get them. I think I'm wearing the blue one out.
I've been told by the production cabinet that we have them here. Would you prefer red or white or both?
Well, red, white, and blue. Come on, man.
Talking about on the air hat.
Yeah, the Authentic Fan hat.
Yeah, blue.
I bet you they'll have it here within 5 minutes.
Yeah, I think we would. Mike, you want one? Want a light blue one?
Yeah, sure, but I don't want to copy John unless we're all going to wear the hat.
No, just so you have a hat. I know you have a million of them. Donna's thinking, oh no,
hey,
another
man,
hat.
If it's free, it's for me.
I had to clean out my closet this week and get rid of probably about 40 hats. I still have hats from the 2008 World Series.
You're a hat hoarder.
Yes.
Hoskins leads things off. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Swing and a miss, 1-1. Hoskins has a couple RBIs today.
Would you call that a home run swing?
Yes. Wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I'd like to see that approach he had yesterday on his second hit.
Right field, man.
Yeah. Just that stay on the ball, line drive the other way. If you're a little ahead, you catch it out front and keep it fair.
It's all about adrenaline. It's about controlling your ability to relax as the ball's on the way to home plate.
2-2. It's not a bad pitch, but he kind of spun himself around on it.
But watch the head. That's a key. You really got a head pulling off the ball. I always found it difficult to hit that way.
Your head falling off the ball?
It seems to have some issues.
Over to third on 1 hop. Shaw backs up on it, has it. And across the diamond for out number 1. And Odubel Herrera's coming up. Fans are heading towards some cover as the rain picks up. They've done a nice job of keeping the infield dry. I mean, I know there's been patches where the ball is spun a couple of different ways. He's a diehard. He ain't moving anywhere.
See what I mean about those cameras?
Yeah, he's hunkered down.
He hasn't even moved, like flinched.
Rain. What rain?
Yeah.
It's got to be. Can we go back to that picture? That's got to be comfortable. There's people behind him. That
The umbrella. The umbrella.
You gonna go stylus on me here?
Well, I'm going to draw. See, I mean, like, what do you think these people can see right now with that monstrosity in front of them?
No. Where's that, down the right field line?
I have no idea.
Odubel fouls it. It's 1-1.
Well, they're looking out to left field or something now. Unless the angle's bad.
I guess they've got a good angle. It might even be the people over.
Well, if there's anything hit down the right field line or the right center to the right field line, they ain't gonna be able to see it.
Yeah, they'll just assume the outcome.
Listen for the cheer of the crowd. It is nice out right now. Oh, Dubel's last swing, it looked like his top hand slipped off the bat.
Yeah, he's trying to get some more pine tar.
Good luck with that.
Wants to get that water off the end of his bat because balls will have no friction when he hits it.
Fouled away. Wore his glove. It went to use. That a baby. Over to first base past Jose Flores. Another theme night coming up. It's the Game of Thrones theme night here at Citizens Bank Park, where you can purchase a ticket on the theme page by going to Phillies.com/theme nights, and you get the Fanatic Game of Thrones bobblehead. That's for Monday, June 18th, when the Phillies take on the Cardinals.
I just think it's interesting with Odubel. We talk a lot when he was going good about how difficult he is to defend because he can hit the ball from line to line. But you look at the shift the Brewers are put on. You know, it tells you that it's just he's trying to trying to get out in front of everything and pull everything, which is not the way he should hit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, grounder to third right now is a double. And it's not like they're jamming him where he has to speed up. They're, you know, they're soft away, some hard in, but mostly away.
To the right side, right at VR. He moved maybe a step to his right. 2 outs here in the 7th. Well, we left Gene out there in center field, and now we can't find him.
Is that a robotic?
Bernie's fine, though. The veteran's fine. Gene could be watching a totally different telecast for all we know. He could be watching golf, a movie. We don't know.
The hats have arrived.
Nice.
A white, a red, and a blue. I'm assuming I get to have the blue since you already have one on your head. Red and a white for John.
Here you go, John.
Thank you, Michael.
Courtesy of Comcast. For who? NBC Sports Philadelphia.
Yep. You gonna be able to keep that white one clean, Johnny?
Absolutely not. But hopefully tonight I get
Anybody know how to work these things?
some old barbecue.
Yeah.
Barbecue on it tonight.
You getting barbecue?
Well, no, we're going out
Oh,
to
you
eat,
gotta
but
put-
yeah.
I'm assuming steak, right? I can probably get some barbecue.
Yes, you
I'll just
can.
hold mine right here for now.
You got to adjust the
Set it right
strap.
there. I'll be wearing that on the plane
Yeah,
tomorrow.
some of those hats you got to be an engineer to figure out how to tighten them or loosen them.
Did I get that thing off? Help me there, brother.
You need it larger?
Yeah, always need a larger.
No need for tools for this one. Try that out.
Thank you, man. I'm going to be making a little
Might be
noise
too
here
big.
with my headset. I can do that since we're on the air.
Oh. 2-1 pitch is in there, 2-2.
He doesn't make many errors, but that was one there.
That was loud. You have to apologize to Mike Giacalone. He doesn't like equipment being thrown around. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 3 infielders on the right side. Here at the bottom of the 7th inning in a 4-2 game. And that pitch just missed a little low, so it's 3-2 to Santana.
He does have a good eye, man. I'll tell you that. He gets his walks, and you can tell laying off a pitch like that with 2 strikes. Good eye.
A little extra moisture that's clogged up there.
Yeah, baseball's not a game to be made to be played in the rain. Why have they always played it in the rain?
Well, it used to be easier because of the turf, I think. That made it a little easier to deal with. Almost the same pitch and a strike 3 called. And a 1-2-3 inning for Jacob Barnes. So the Phils go down in order. Yep, diehards will be diehards. Look out below. We'll head to the 8th inning. Delaware Valley Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Del Val Honda dealer. Visit DelValHondaDealers.com. And by Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Phillies on top 4-2 as we move on to the top of the 8th inning. Time now for our Hyundai defensive play of the game.
That's got to be Mr. Braun.
Yep.
He closed fast on that ball. Kept his eye on it. Well, I don't know about watching it through the glove, whether you hear we see that. He kind of hung his glove out, and whoa, it went in. He's safe in the outfield.
Yeah, with the rain falling, a little splashdown.
That's your Hyundai defensive play of the game, brought to you by your local Hyundai dealers.
So the bases signifying the 25th anniversary of the 1993 Phillies, which we've been celebrating all week long. It really never gets old. And Dominguez back out to the mound. And he'll try to pitch a scoreless 8th inning. Be a little bit of a delay as the grounds crew puts some of the drying agent down on the field. Our Toyota turning point, we lean on Zach Eflin, who really teetered in the 5th inning today, but didn't fall over. Came back and was pretty strong despite the 2 runs.
Yeah, and a well-needed, a great pitching performance that the Phillies needed after the first couple games of this series. Like you said, Tom, he got hit with that ball, comebacker, and it looked like he lost some command after that, but he got it back and really dialed up a gem that just, like I said, just what this team needed. Fastball was great, the changeup, the breaking ball, and give a lot of credit to Zach Eflin for being not only having our Toyota turning point of the game, but for putting us in a situation where in the 8th, 9th inning we have a chance to win the ball game that we haven't had in a while.
Laid down that nice bunt too in that inning we scored.
All right, so we begin the 8th, and Kane is swinging a miss at 99. It's 0-1.
It's got to be fun, huh, Michael? 98 cutting with rain in your face.
It's a nice challenge right now too for Sir Anthony with these 3 guys coming up. Breaking ball 0-2. Every time a Phillies pitcher like Sir Anthony delivers a pitch of 95 miles per hour or more, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, the fastest internet in Philadelphia. And a strike 3 called.
That could go down as the worst at bat he's had
in the series. I would agree with that. Yeah, he's been good. PJ Wheelahan's pitch cast.
Now watch when Kane walks back to the dugout and Yelich walks past him. Like, Kane can't believe this. And he's looking at the board, and he's looking to see if it's a fastball or what. And you see him right there. It's cutting. It's 98 and it's cutting. And Yelich is probably thinking there, oh boy, this should be fun. He's looking at the board to see what the pitch was in the mile an hour.
He's looking up here at this Xfinity sign. I think it's up here in the red.
1 ball and 1 strike. I guess you throw a 2-seamer because it's more like a changeup if you're Sir Anthony, but you could really get away with just throwing that 4-seamer all the time.
Well, some guy made a living out of it pretty well. Probably be in the Hall of Fame someday.
I don't think there's much doubt, right? See, when is that? He's been out of the game 3 years.
It's been, I think it's been about 3 years. One ball and 2 strikes. All those guys sort of followed each other 1 year after another.
Well, the guy that would really have it tough might be Yelich here with that 98-mile-an-hour cutter. Can you see that thing going right down by your top hand?
No, I've had the great pleasure of facing Mariano Rivera, and it wasn't a whole lot of fun.
Yeah, he's eligible, I think, next year. So his last year was 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. This is it. Yeah, so I think he's eligible next year. 5 years out.
Does it have to be 5 years out and then get voted on, or into your 5th year out?
5 years out, I believe. Back toward the middle off the mound. Kingery diving stop to his feet, and Yelich is safe at first.
Whoa, that's a heck of a play. It's closer than you think there at first.
Very nice to the glove side for Scott Kingery.
Tell you what, little plays like that even solidify his hold on that shortstop position too.
Did everything he could.
Yeah, I'd say anyone else on that team, probably an out.
Yeah, the left-hander hitting the ball gets out of the box. Just, you know, that's the difference in that play too, being right in the left-hander.
Yeah.
Game was made for left-handers.
That's the rumor. Well, left-handers who could run.
Aguilar has struck out 3 times today. That hit, by the way, is the 4th for the Brewers. The Phillies only have 4 hits today.
Well, it's like golf was made for righties. But especially back years ago when I first started playing, it was hard to find good left-handed equipment. Only certain companies made it. And then Mickelson, of course, once he got to be Phil, you know, then all of a sudden companies started making left-handed clubs. They figured, huh, maybe there's a market for left-handed players.
Carried the torch for you guys.
Well, we appreciate him.
I appreciate what you're saying, because I thought you were saying something like there's more dogleg left holes than there are dogleg right holes.
Well, all about the equipment, Michael. It ain't the arrow, it's the Indian.
Look at that hole you left-handers have over there between first and second right now to hit in.
Inside and 1-2.
See, tell me this game is made for left-handers.
Baseball?
Yeah, look at that hole you have over there. That whole side of that field.
I mean, Carl, what's the number, like batting titles won by, I'm sure lefties.
Oh, that's a good question.
Probably lefties have won more.
Take a peek at that.
All right. Ted Williams, Cobb.
Swing and a miss. Aguilar strikes out for the 4th time in today's game. 4 strikeouts for Sir Anthony.
It's the old golden sombrero. Ted out front?
A little bit. He's looking for 98 and got 92. Here's where you got, yeah, I know Braun's hot, and I know he hits the Phillies well, but the righties haven't looked too comfortable up there against Sir Anthony, and I think this is a guy right here that you got to be careful with. Look at the numbers. 63% the 4-seams, fastball, cutter, sliders, 2-seamers. Can you throw a changeup?
I guess it's a 2-seamer that they consider as changeup, but that's at 90-91.
Like
I thought he did too.
Have to discuss that with the production cavity.
Velocity is the same changeup and 2-seamer. One ball and 1 strike to Shaw. Up high, 2-1. .33 pitches now for Sir Anthony, trying to get this last out here in the top of the 8th inning. Little floater out towards center field. Odubel slips, so it's going to drop for a hit. Yelich is on his way to 3rd. So now 1st and 3rd with 2 outs. And here comes Braun. And bullpen action begins for the Phillies. Luis Garcia starts to throw. Mercradis is going to head out to the mound. Brady giving Garcia a chance to warm up, but also just giving Dominguez a chance to take a breather.
Well, they also probably are saying, what are we going to do with Braun right now? Let's get together on this.
I tell you, if they throw 98, 99, I don't know if he can catch up to it. I really don't. Let it cut to the outside part of the plate. Braun today is 1 for 3. Struck out his last time up. He delivers low. I think the issue with the Cubs game is when he started to overthrow just a little bit and got a little wild.
Yeah, that's where the young guys not being in this position in the major leagues that often you probably try a little bit too hard. They don't get have the freedom with their arm. There you go.
Tip, 98, 1-1.
There you go. And you got to believe, you got to trust that pitch is a pitch that he can't hit.
And you can't tell me, as young as he is, that he doesn't go up there and think, oh boy, Chris Bryant, Anthony Rizzo, I'm facing these guys now. Yeah, minor leagues are minor league players. They're probably some of them are really, really good players, going to be really, really good big leaguers, but you know, it's not guys that have track records in the big leagues like those guys.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the first at bat against Fernando. Bob Welch was my first at bat in the big leagues. I remember just like, oh my God, he struck Reggie out. 3 fastballs in.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Runners on first and third. Braun's been red hot this whole series. Back toward the middle, and that'll be into center field, a base hit. A run will score. Shaw's on his way to third, and it's now a 4-3 ball game.
Yeah, that's experienced hitting right there. That is an experienced hitter, a good hitter. All he did was stick his bat out and ground that ball up the middle. Just tried to make contact. Just watch this. That's all he did was try to keep from going underneath the baseball. A little chop stroke on it, hit the ground ball up the middle, just tried to make contact.
Well, and the thing is, too, it gets Shaw to third base, and you know, we keep bringing it up, our issues with wild pitches and pass balls.
Yeah.
And you know, especially with the lefty now, if he gets on the side of that four-seamer and really cuts it a lot, you know, it could disappear under the arms of Villar, and you know, maybe let Travis Shaw score from first or from third.
Swing and a miss, 99. Garcia standing on the mound after throwing a few. Sometimes you know, when you're arm weary, it doesn't affect your velocity as much as it does your command.
Well, he's thrown 40 pitches. I mean, I don't know what the pitch limit for somebody like Sir Anthony would be.
Back to the box.
We don't have to worry about it now.
So the Phillies will maintain the lead. It'll be a 1-run lead. Brewers score a run on 3 hits. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th. 4-3 Phils. Rockies immediately after the game. Children 14 and under are invited onto the field to run the bases. It's all brought to you by Nemours. Go to Phillies.com to order your tickets. Don't forget, before that ball game, Phillies will honor Jim Thome on the anniversary of his 400th home run. Before the ball game today, kids were on the field with the Chevy Coaches Clinic. Get a chance to be in the bullpen with Rick Kranitz overseeing it, and then a chance to go to the wall, make some catches. Mike Littree was showing them how to do that in the outfield. Phillies advanced scout Rhys Hoskins was also out there today. It was pretty cool for a lot of those youngsters to get out there and do that. There's Cranny chatting with them as well. And there's Rhys coming out, getting some high fives from some of the youngsters. He was out there for a little while too. He was working on ground balls with a lot of the kids. Here's Jeremy Jeffress. He is the Brewers closer. 3 saves and 5 opportunities, or one of the Brewers closers.
Ooh, you had him.
Yeah, he did.
You had him.
Shaw was way back near the grass. And
now, John, that's a good time to bunt.
Absolutely.
That is a good time to bunt. Not with 2 outs,
and
men on base.
Especially, too, because if it gets down to it, you know you're going to pinch hit for your pitcher.
And he was still giving it to him there.
The ball's at 2 strikes. Jeffress with those 3 saves. Knebel has 5 saves.
I think one of the things I've noticed is after 1 strike, everyone moves back. Like if you're a good enough bunter and you can bunt with 1 strike, you could probably get 15, 20 hits a year extra.
Yeah, Cesar has 5 already.
But I'm talking about as soon
with
as you
1
get
strike. Yeah.
Like Shaw was back for the first pitch of this at bat. I'm not saying now, but you know, you watch it a lot. As soon as he gets 1 strike, they move back.
Over toward the third base side. Shaw waits for it and throws Kingery out. 1 out here in the 8th. And Nick Williams' turn. He's 0 for 3. Williams a couple of ground outs and a fly out to left field. Williams has got an awful lot of room down the right field line. The Brewers move Yelich way over into right center and deep. In fact, he just took another step over. Outside, 1-0.
And the first pitch is a breaking ball that he could hook down there.
It's interesting, though, that alignment, don't you think?
Confusing times.
I think where Kane is fine. I think Williams does hit the ball that way.
Well, you're exactly right. In the outfield, if you're going to shift around that way and you throw 2 breaking balls, it doesn't match up. Boom. Oh my gosh. That was a good one.
Wow. Fortunately, the mask got more. Swing and a miss.
3 off-speed pitches in a row.
And a fastball and a strike 3 call. 2 outs here in the 8th inning.
Whew. Tough pitch right there. 3 breaking balls and fastball 96.
Maybe look like after seeing those slows, though, that thing had some hair on it, man. Look at that. I mean,
that did have some jump.
Great pitch. You know what? Nick's been doing that a lot lately, taking fastball strike 3s, and you know, questioning, like, looks like he's like not outwardly questioning umpire, but acting like it's not a strike. And you know, that was a good pitch.
JP's had a good day. JP is 2 for 3. He got a single and a double, both against a left-hander. Outside, 1-1. Phillies have lost 4 straight games, trying to end that losing streak here today. Washington and San Francisco are just underway. Down in D.C., Atlanta and the Dodgers are just underway out in Los Angeles. They lead the division. Both won yesterday. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Crawford.
Pretty good stuff right here. 96-mile-an-hour fastball. That had curveball right there. Had some seriously good bite to it. Tough hitting to these days, Johnny.
Broke his bat, ground ball to second base. BR underhands it. 4-3. Brewers bullpen's retired the last 7 hitters it has faced. Luis Garcia is coming in to pitch the 9th inning for the Phils. By to chat about this game, hopefully a Phils victory, only on Cure Auto Insurance presents Phillies post-game live. We start the top of the 9th inning. It'll be Pena, then Sogard. Yeah, the pitcher's spot against Garcia, who delivers a slider for strike 1, 0-1. Another slider. This time he lays off, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, tip of the cap to the folks, the guys in the grounds crew, guys and gals of the grounds crew, because they've gotten us through this game. We're here in the top of the 9th inning. They've managed us through, making sure that the drying agent has been placed on a consistent basis. Even though it's rained most of the day, it's lightened up now. as Pena fouls it. Might have to fix that seat. And it's 1-2. Johnny, everybody looks excited to be wearing your jersey today.
Yeah, that's nice. Very, very, very nice. Got to sign a bunch of them today when we were down on the concourse signing autographs.
Swing and a miss. A lot of sliders. One away here in the 9th inning. One of the memory from the 93 weekend. The team picture for today. Button up, boys.
There's always some good comments, good laughs at the pictures, aren't there, Johnny? We get over the years.
Bo was killing me. They made me take my hat off.
Right.
Because everyone else didn't have a hat on.
Why didn't they wear a hat, John?
I think just upset me, but Bo was making comments, because I got there after they were lined up, and Bo was like, "There ain't no way you can fit in here." Like, come on, man.
That's not nice.
That's my boy, though.
1 ball and no strikes to Sogard. By the way, we do have an answer to your question about the batting titles. National League, there have been 71 left-handed hitters with a batting title. 62 right-handed, 9 switch hitters. Fly ball center field. And 2 outs. In the American League, there have been 68 left-handed hitters who have won a batting title. And here's where you see a stark contrast. 45 right-handed hitters. So 68 lefties, 45 right-handers in the American League. And then 4 switch hitters.
So we do have the advantage, Michael.
Yeah. Well, you do have the advantage because you have Tony Gwynn, Ted Williams,
usual.
Stan the Man,
Couple
Ralph Garr,
Wade Boggs, couple decent lefty hitters in there. Did you say Rodney Klein?
Uh-oh, there's a little bloop out to center by Domingo Santana.
Just won't go easy, will they?
The former Phil's prospect, who was in the Hunter Pence trade.
Did we bring up Rod Carew?
Didn't say about Rod Carew.
Another lefty who had a few batting titles, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, we got Joe Torre.
Yeah, Bill Madlock.
Bill Madlock. Joe DiMaggio.
Miguel Cabrera.
All right, Garcia needs to get this one out here.
Yeah, we do. I think Lorenzo Cain would be happy to see anyone but Sir Anthony in there.
Trying to check his swing on that pitch from Garcia. He went as the first base umpire. No balls and 1 strike. Ooh, look out. Oh, and 2.
Yeah,
We got a new bat.
Yeah, he did. I guess that other one ran out of hits.
After that last AB, he needed to change something.
It was authenticated. No balls, 2 strikes. As Cain is ready to go. Check swing. And 1 and 2, a slider that ran away. We'll be back here on Tuesday. The Rockies are coming to town. We'll say goodbye to the Brewers till next weekend. We go to Milwaukee.
Who comes to town?
Colorado Rockies, Johnny.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
1 ball and 2 strikes. And the pitch. And a line drive, base hit down the left field line. Santana's on his way to third base. Cedar will hold him there. And Lorenzo Cain puts runners on second and third with 2 men down. Oh, boy.
I walk Yelich.
Just can't put it away.
You know what? I would walk. I would do the same thing.
You know what's funny?
Make Aguilar win it.
What's amazing is you're going to walk Yelich, absolutely, no question, for a guy that's got 4 Ks.
I don't care how much power he has.
He's got 4 strikeouts in this game.
He's going to make a pitching change too. Gabe is. He'll make a double switch. So he's out to the home plate umpire, C.B. Buckner. Boy, Garcia got to 2 strikes again and was unable to get the last out. He'll come in for J.P. Crawford. So a pitching change here at Citizens Bank Park. We'll be back right after this. Single to Domingo Santana and then a double to Lorenzo Cain after getting 2 strikes on the board. So now Gabe Kapler makes a double switch. He brings in Valentin. So Valentin will bat at the pitcher's spot, and then Tommy Hunter will come in and he'll slide into J.P. Crawford's spot in the order. Valentin's a very good defender. And now you have Tommy Hunter, who has 17 career saves. He's been in these spots before. And Yelich, let's see if they, it doesn't look like they're going to walk him intentionally.
Oh, my God. Okay.
Well, I guess they feel like this matchup can get them through, even though Yelich does have 6 hits in this series. They haven't faced each other ever, which is a little surprising. 1 ball and no strikes. To the right side, and Cesar's got it. The throw to first in time, and the Phils end their 4-game losing streak. They win it 4-3 this afternoon over the Milwaukee Brewers. Woo! Brewers get 2 in scoring position in the top half of the 9th inning, but the Phillies are able to hold on and win it. It's the earliest in the season the Phillies have reached the 20-win mark at Citizens Bank Park since 2011, when they reached it on the 6th of June.
Tommy, maybe with 2 outs, you walk in, you load the bases, you don't give the pitcher the freedom to make his pitches because ball 4 walks in the tying run.
Yep. Well, they were comfortable with the matchup, and it worked out. Our Chevrolet player of the game is Rhys Hoskins. A couple RBIs today, 14 go-ahead RBIs for the year. Our W.B. Mason deliveries of the game will go back to the 5th inning, and Cesar walks with the bases loaded. That's how it starts.
Walks with the bases loaded. 1 run comes in. Rhys Hoskins, sac fly. That's scoring nap, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. There it comes. Odubel hustles out of the box.
That was a big play.
Makes a nice turn. Odubel beats it by a half step. Eflin scores. And Hoskins is with Murph. I don't know whether Daddy's with him or not, but Reese is.
Well, Reese is indeed, and well, we were just saying, nothing easy about this series, but you're able to get the final game of this series. So important to get a win, and you did it by doing the little things.
Absolutely, yeah. We manufactured some runs today. Effin was outstanding. Really needed that. After the last couple games, bullpen did the job at the end of the day, and that's really what counts.
Talk a little bit about just how important it was to get the win, because you guys have played so well at home. You come back from the long road trip and lose the first two, but you're able to get this one, maybe build some momentum going into next week.
Absolutely. It's always good to salvage the series. They came out and kind of hit us in the mouth a couple times. So to get one before they leave and going into the off day is going to give us a lot more confidence for next week when we're home.
Talk a little bit about you've got the new helmet working, and you've had some good swings. So obviously you're seeing the ball pretty well with that?
Yeah, I am. The guys at Rawlings and Phil Sheridan, our clubhouse guy, did a good job designing that. I can't see the flaps at all, so it's been pretty good so far.
Well, it is Father Appreciation Day, and we had a chance to talk to your dad earlier today, and here he is. He got a chance to tell us just how proud he is to watch you down on the field. How much does it mean to have this guy here being able to watch you play this weekend?
It's really cool. We don't get to see each other a whole lot, him being on the West Coast. So to have him out here just makes it feel a little bit more like home.
And he got a couple RBIs for you, too.
It's kind of him to do well while I'm here, too.
Wasn't that nice?
I do appreciate that.
You're such a good son. Reese, Paul, thanks so much. Enjoy your time the rest of the weekend together. Thanks, guys. Guys, back upstairs.
All right, Murph, thank you very much. We appreciate that. The Phils win it by a final of 4-3. They take, that's a great moment right there.
Yeah.
They take the final game of this 3-game series. It wasn't easy.
See you guys in a couple weeks, guys.
All right, Michael,
good
be good.
You. John?
Michael?
Tommy?
We'll be back to wrap it up right after this from Citizens Bank Park.